following is a production of Channels 2 and 7 in association with Molestar Communications. The hit song, Feeling Stronger Every Day, certainly applies to the Flames, who are poised to overtake the Kings for first place. Theron Fleury is looking stronger than ever. His fourth hat trick of the season helped the Flames beat the Blues last night. Like the Flames, the Stars are stronger now than they were earlier in the season. At the same time, Dave Gagne's star status is rising in Minnesota. In Mike Modano, Minnesota has a star for the future. Today, he is one of 4 on the team with 20 or more goals. Of all NHL teams, Minnesota has more ex-Flames than any other. Mark Bureau is the latest addition. Adding up points is more fun for the North Stars lately. They're 5 games above 500 since the All-Star break in mid-January. But adding up fans in the stands isn't fun. Average attendance at the Met Center is around 7,500. When will the fans return is uncertain. So is the Stars roster next year. Some will find their way to San Jose. Tonight, the Flames find their way to the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, to play the Stars live on 2 and 7. The Flames on 2 and 7 is brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about. Welcome to the Met Center, where empty seats are the norm, and it's something team owner Norm Green is trying hard to remedy. Good evening, I'm Grant Pollock, and welcome to the Flames on 2 and 7. It's the second game as many nights for both the Flames and the Stars. The Flames winning in St. Louis last night. They made it to Bloomington overnight. They had an optional skate this morning, about 9 players showing up for that. Yesterday, here at the Met Center, the Wings lose to the Stars 6-2. That win extends the Stars' unbeaten streak at home to 10 games. And in the last 2 games here at the Met Center, the Stars have outscored the opposition 11-3. And the Flames have been home a lot and winning a lot lately. In fact, the Flames have lost only once in the last 15 games. So the Flames and the Stars both playing very well of late at a crucial time in the season. The Flames can move back into first place tonight. They must win, and the Kings must lose. And right now, the Kings are losing to Montreal 3-1 in the second period. The Flames have 10 games to go after tonight, and 3 of those games will be against the LA Kings. Right now, with more on the Flames, here's Harry Neal with Coach Doug Risebrough.
Doug, a big win in St. Louis last night. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that win and how the new Flames are fitting into the scheme of things.
Well, it was a pretty emotional win for us. You know, we were charged up to play the game, and when you play a good team like St. Louis, you don't always carry the game. But I thought that we grabbed the moment back pretty quick when they got it. A couple times they came back with some good, solid shifts, and we seemed to rebound very well with good, solid shifts following. So we kept as much of the game as we could, and I think it turned out well. The new guys are fitting in well. I think they've brought some new energy to the team, and certainly I think that they're all good skaters, and I think we're a step faster than we were before.
And Doug, you played on some great Montreal teams when you were a player. I'm wondering how much of your current coaching philosophy you really learned as a player in Montreal.
Well, you reflect on a little bit. I'd have to say a couple things. First of all, I don't think you can replace hard work, and you got to demand that of yourself and certainly the players. And from a little bit of a technical standpoint, we've had a pretty flexible lineup with dealing with lines. Scotty was a great juggler of lines, and we've kind of done the same thing. And I think that some of that is starting to come true. Some of that juggling has made the players comfortable, and we're pretty flexible right now.
And before we get to the teams on the ice, we're going to hear from another former Montreal player, Stars coach Bob Gainey, standing by with Ed Whalen.
Bob, like Doug Risebrough, you came out of the Montreal organization. What sort of an impact has that had on coaching success for you?
Well, I'm not so sure. I haven't had a lot of coaching success to this point. We're about 10 games under 500. I think the Montreal organization, in the 15 years that I was there, I had a chance to play with many great players, many players who taught me a lot of things about how to play and how to act and character and desire to win and team play and team spirit. And I had to play with coaches, good coaches like Scott Bowman and Pat Burns and Jean Perron, and managers like Sam Pollock and Irving Grundman. So there were always good people around, and I think that's the key to any organization, is to have a quality staff, and when there's strength at the top, like there was in Montreal, that drained down through the rest of the group.
Thank you very much, Coach Bob Gainey. You are going to watch very shortly the opening face-off between the North Stars and the Flames, live on 2 and 7.
Welcome back to Bloomington, Minnesota, where the Calgary Flames are making their second visit to the Met Center this season. They won here in mid-December. Tonight's game concludes a 2-game road trip for the Calgary Flames. Important game for the Flames, as I mentioned, going on in the Montreal Forum. It's the Canadiens leading the Kings 3-1. Edmonton not yet underway. Winnipeg beat the Devils 4-3. Vancouver and Buffalo are now tied at 1 in the second period. The Minnesota North Stars are in 4th place in the North Division, and they've been there since the 3rd game of the season. And they are right ahead of the Toronto Maple Leafs and right behind Detroit. Now we go to Ed and Harry.
Hello, hockey fans. Well, we've got 2 flaming teams in action here tonight. As Grant Pollock informed you, both have been performing so well. The starting goaltenders, Mike Vernon, looking for the 30th win in a season for the 4th time in his career. And at the other end of the ice, Brian Hayward, a rather familiar figure after spending 4 years in Winnipeg and another 4 years in Montreal. There he is, Brian, over from Montreal after sort of a sit-down strike with the Canadiens. The referee tonight is Richard Trottier, the linesman Mark Pear, and Gord Brassiker, and we're just about to get underway. Mark Bureau, former farmhand for the Flames in Salt Lake City, is at center ice. He'll be working with Gavin and McRae primarily. Now with the game underway, and we'll give you the deletions from the roster as soon as it's possible. Going to the corner, the puck is behind the net. It's flipped high in the air, goes down the ice, and it's chased there by Kurt Giles. Kurt out of the Paw, Manitoba. A real veteran. The puck came loose in front, but Manteau couldn't quite get at it. He got spun around, almost got away with it there. Scrambles for the puck again. Otto couldn't feed it through, and it's back up the ice and reorganized by Al McInnes. Down the ice now, and Dahlquist grabbing the puck there, and they're going to call icing on this play.
Here are the players not playing in tonight's game. 5 for each team. Of course, Patterson and Ranheim are hurt, as are Churla, Zettler, and Craig for the North Stars. The Minnesota North Stars, Eddie, a team that I think has the best chance in round 1, if they continue to play the way they're playing, of making one of those big upsets. And
we get together once every couple of months, whether we need it or not, Harry. What is this?
This is my last game, 2 on 2 and 7, and I'm just trying to do a good job so you'll invite me back next year.
Yeah, sure. Prep Gagne Modano. This is a power line, certainly, for Minnesota. When you look at Propp with 21 goals, Gagne 36, Modano 21. Some good firepower in that trio. Now working his way up the left side, it was Gilmore, but he couldn't catch up to the puck, and McInnes has to retreat into the neutral zone. Sunday night in Bloomington, Minnesota. Not a bad crowd on hand in an arena that's used to empty seats. Now over the line, here's the shot from the tough angle by Mateau. And Minnesota covering up on the rebound. It's back up into the neutral zone. Stolen there by Fleury. Fleury, 20 goals in his last 14 games and a remarkable performance last night in St. Louis. He's knocked down. And back comes Minnesota into the center ice area. Gagne clearing, allowing Minnesota to make changes as play goes on. And it's ditto for Gilmore, who cleared it up the ice.
Well, when you get 3 goals in one game and you've had to kind of 4-2 that Fleury has, you're going to be the object of a little physical play, as was Tenorti teeing off on Fleury.
Neil Broughton put it behind the net. They squeeze for it on the boards. It's taken away. Cleared by McInnes up the boards. Roberts tries to go rink wide. Missed the target, rather. Bellows lost the puck. Here's Neuendijk. Tough angle. Hayward covers up and hangs on to the puck. This is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
The shirt tails and has pulled it up to play the way they have. Takes a real good thump there from Mark Tenorti. And you can be sure Fleury's name was circled on the blackboard in the Minnesota North Star dressing room before this one.
We talked about a remarkable performance last night. I've talked to a lot of players and ex-players, and nobody can remember anybody, one individual, scoring 3 shorthanded goals in a game as he did in St. Louis. You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't. Must be a record in this league.
Here's Roberts trying to put it out in front. The National Hockey League, I don't think, keeps a record of that particular statistic, but that's got to be something I've never heard of. Broughton a shot, and it was a tough shot, partially screened, but Vernon booted it out. Vernon starting for the 2nd straight night on this road, John. Colin Patterson and Paul Ranheim are with the club, albeit they're injured and certainly won't play, but I suppose in a sense it keeps them as a part of the team. The puck is into the Flames players' box.
National Hockey League definition of balanced scoring, I don't know what is. They are now number 1 in the National League, are the Flames, in goals for. And Bob Gainey knows that. And I think in the back of his mind, he wouldn't mind going out and doing a little defensive work himself tonight. He was pretty good at it.
Mark Bureau making his start with Minnesota. Got the pass away, and the shot by Duchesne was deflected to the corner. Bureau has yet to score in the NHL, having played 10 games with Calgary to no avail in that department. Here's Fleury going on the attack now. He's got McCown with him. He's squeezed off and knocked down. And that's by Brian Glynn, a former Flame, and the crowd applauds. Calgary forechecking vigorously, but up the ice comes Bureau, clears it in. And Minnesota makes their changes. Now it's behind the net, centered out in front, but swept away by McCown, put to an open wing, and back very quickly for it goes Dahlquist, the former Pittsburgh Penguin. Beautiful rink-wide pass there for Smale, trying to work it in to the side of the net. Duchesne with a shot, and Vernon very quick, and then he covers up on the rebound.
Well, you know, the first goal is an important stat in the National League, but to Minnesota, it seems to be vital. If Calgary scores first, they're 19-6-4. Here's the good shot by Duchesne and a nice stop by Vernon. If Minnesota gets scored on first, they're 5-23-7. So this first goal, if the Flames could ever get it, could put Minnesota in a bit of a spot. Mike Vernon, who for the life of me keeps getting booed in Calgary for reasons that are unknown to me, his record in the last 4 or 5 years is unparalleled in the National League. And look at that little stat. That should shut anybody up in Calgary that doesn't like the way he plays.
We're nearing the 4-minute mark of the opening period. There is no score. Perry Berezan gets the puck back to the line. It's held in and goes high in the air, knocked out of the air by Mike Vernon to the corner. Fleury coming out of his zone now. Got the lead pass intended for Mateau in center. It skids down the ice. And I think there's a penalty coming up behind the play, and Musil wants to fight. Musil, the former North Star, is anxious to argue.
Well, Doug Smale was really upset with the way Musil manhandled him, trying to get to the net on the last North Star rush. And he and Musil came up the ice well behind the play, jabbing each other with their sticks and giving each other a little verbal abuse as well. And, of course, now we have other people involved.
Well, Tepper's flaring early, and there was lots of flaring, I understand, last night in St. Louis as well.
McPhee has scored for Montreal. Luc Robitaille for the Kings. It's now 4-2 Montreal at the Forum in the second.
And Grant Pollock's going to keep a weather eye on proceedings there in Montreal because, of course, that's of major importance to the Flames. Here's the penalties.
The Flames, number 3, Musil, a double minor for roughing.
Well, the Minnesota North Stars are going to get a power play here. Just under 5 minutes gone in the first period. They're number 11 in the National Hockey League on the power play. And the Calgary Flame penalty killing group is 8th best. This has been one of the most improved areas of the North Stars in the last little while. In the last 15 games, their power play has been producing at the 29.2% mark, which would put them in first place if they had that percentage for the whole season.
Another improvement has been the Flames penalty killing. For most of the season, they were hanging around 12, 13, 14. They've certainly moved up of late.
And the Stars got 2 power play goals yesterday in 8 attempts in the matinee 6-2 shellacking of the Detroit Red Wings.
Calgary playing shorthanded, and I'm sure Bob Gainey is aware of the fact that the Flames shorthanded were a threat last night. So they started off, those penalties coming up at the 4:15 mark of period number 1. First power play of the game. Along the boards, the puck is rattled in by Tenorti, goes behind the net. This is Bellows. Bellows working his way behind the net, trying to get possession. Bellows gets it back to the line. The return pass to Bellows now along the boards. He's looking. Bellows tried the give and go, goes to the corner, comes back to Broughton at the line. Handles the puck there, got it back, went across the goal mouth, held in at the line by Tenorti, played it off the boards. Into the corner, Gagne to Prop. Bellows put it to the open wing, and it's held in at the blue line again. Comes into the slot area. Gilmore has trouble handling it, and there's going to be a penalty as Gilmore was hauled down. So Gagne is gone. You're watching the Flames on 2-7.
With 1:14 left in the North Star power play, Gagne gets a penalty for tripping Doug Gilmore. So they'll play 4 skaters aside here for a little bit more than a minute, and then the North Stars will have about a 40-second power play.
Puck goes down into the Calgary zone. Vernon left it there. McInnes playing it off the boards, intended for Suter. McInnes, Suter, and now Fleury all have better than 200 shots on net in the Calgary lineup. Bellows the only one for Minnesota, but they've got some scorers. Back to the line. Chambers shot. Vernon could see it all the way side of the net. And Vernon winds up with a puck, and what a great scoring chance there for number 9, Mike Modano.
Well, Mike Modano is going to be a premier player in this league before very long. Remember, he was second to Makarov last year in the Calder Trophy voting. And here he comes off the side of the rink and grabs a puck that's not cleared too nicely by Vernon. And a good play by McInnes to knock him down, as Modano can really handle the puck. Goals against, a vital stat at this time of the year. Calgary coming down in that department, but Chicago's got it locked up. Quebec, of course, locked the other end of that up. That's why they're going to finish 21st.
Both clubs playing with 4 skaters at this point. 44 seconds left on the penalty to Musil. 1:30 to Gagne. Puck goes to the corner. McCowan chases it there. Plays it off the boards. Got the return pass. He's being watched closely. They're trying to organize something now as Gilmore tromps out from behind the net. Left the trailer for Fleury. Over to Gilmore. Gilmore steps around the defense, puts it out in front, and he just missed McCowan, who's pinching in. There's the drive, and a good shot by Kevin Guy, who's into the lineup tonight for the Calgary Flames, after being acquired, of course, from Vancouver. Mix up along the boards. Some of the fans looking at the referee with their fingers crossed. And now Calgary has the man advantage for another 45 seconds. Puck is up the ice. Suter being watched by Duchesne. Duchesne and Berezan trying to kill this penalty for Minnesota, and they've been very effective in that department. To the blue line. Stopped there as Suter couldn't carry it through. Now McInnes gets it over on the other side. The shot, and Hayward had to be very alert on that one on the drive by Carey Wilson. Wilson going to the corner, played it off the boards for McInnes. He tried to shovel it through into the slot area, but it was intercepted, and Tenorti clears up the ice.
Shouldn't surprise anyone, Ed, that the North Stars' penalty killing's pretty good when Doug Jarvis and Bob Gainey are their coaches, two of the best to ever handle that assignment.
Offside at the blue line.
Well, there's Mike Modano scratching his cheek there. Last 12 games, 14 points. A great shot, big, long reach. He reminds me of Ivan Bolderov, the way he can just sift by defensemen who dare play the puck. You're going to hear a lot about him in the future. Mike Modano, number 9 in white.
Only 20 years young. There's the shot by Neuendijk. Good grab by Brian Hayward. Ticketed for the upper left corner.
Brian Hayward, this is just his 7th game here at home, and he does make a real good stop right here on a hard shot. A bit of a bad angle by Joe Neuendijk. In Hayward's last 13 games, he's only won 3 of them. And John Casey's the workhorse among the North Star goaltending situation.
Joe Neuendijk at 39 goals, looking for his 40th. Theron Fleury has hit the 44 mark, as you probably are aware. Both clubs are back to full strength. Long shot. That was knocked down and just cleared in time, actually, by Roberts. Backhanded, and it deflected out in front rather crazily, but Vernon was alert.
Well, Mike Vernon, 5th consecutive year of more than 20 wins, and he's going to get 30 for sure. You know, any Stanley Cup hopes that the Calgary Flames have, and I'm sure they have high ones, you're going to rely on this guy, number 30, to do the job in goal that he did 2 years ago.
7.5 minutes gone in the opening period. There is no score. Broughton got it back to Giles. Giles fakes it, moves in, the shot, scores!
Who I don't even think will get an assist, but Stefan Matteau was coming out to cover Giles. Bellows ran some interference, which allowed Giles to step to the middle of the rink right there. You see, Bellows? And then Giles, with a little bit of a screen provided by Neil Broughton, beats Mike Vernon. Let's watch it again. Broughton right back. Now there goes Matteau, but he can't get by Bellows. And this allows Giles to walk into the middle and then in a step and then wire one for Giles' 4th goal of the season.
Yeah, Giles gets credit for the goal. And Minnesota has a 1-0 lead. Neil Broughton gaining an assist on the play because, of course, he got the puck directly off the face-off to Giles, allowing the shot to get away. Calgary down by 1. Knowing it wasn't going to be easy tonight in Minnesota because, as Grant Pollock told you, this club is unbeaten in their last 10, and they've been playing well. That's the last 10 at home, I should say. And they've been playing well ever since the All-Star break. Now coming to the line is McClellan, tried to work his way through. He's muscled off the puck. It goes into the corner, chased there by Dahlquist. To the opposite side, held in by Suter, the shot. Deflected wide. Comes into the slot area. Berezan is there. Here's a 4-on-2. Berezan going in now with Smale. Drops the puck for Berezan along the boards. And really, Minnesota got a little disorganized on that attack, Harry.
I'm not sure that this line, which is a checking line, should be trying too many drop passes.
Right. Now a scramble on the boards. Minnesota holding it in the zone, but now Suter goes the opposite direction, puts it on the left side. Big Otto takes the shot, deflected out in front. They score! Wilson!
Well, the puck was nearly kicked in as Joel Otto put the puck on the net. And Wilson, who trailed the play, came in and shoveled it into the net. Ron Stern was the guy who, I believe, the puck went off his skate. And Hayward made the save right there. But then Wilson beats 3 North Stars to the puck and puts it in on a rather bit of a delayed goal. Here's Otto. He shoots it. Now watch Stern. It hits the skate right there, and I think it was Stern's, or it might have been Jim Johnson's. Nevertheless, Wilson comes in and puts it in to tie this game up with 11:02 to go. in the first period.
That goal coming 1 minute 24 seconds after the opener by Giles Wilson with his 10th goal of the season. Otto gaining an assist on the play, of course. We'll wait for the rest of the official scoring. Here's Wilson getting it up ahead to Fleury. Fleury takes the long shot. Hayward handles that. He plays it to the corner. Gilmore is there, trapped by Wilson along the boards. Now Minnesota going to the attack, working up into the center ice area, over the line, trying to feed it through. Unsuccessfully was Modano. Comes back to Giles. Modano regaining possession, set it up nicely for the veteran Prop. Goes over on the other side into the goal mouth area, and it just get it across. We're all tied up by 1, and just about at the halfway point of the opening period. A good pace. Both clubs with 7 shots on goal thus far, so the goaltenders have had their action. Now Gilmore in his own zone gets it up ahead to Fleury, to McClelland. McClelland at the blue line works it through, trying to jam his way along the boards. Couldn't make it. Back up into center now very quickly. That's Ulf Dahlen. Boy, was he on fire yesterday. 3 goals, 2 assists against Detroit. Crowd campaigns for a penalty. Referee Trache looks the other way. McCown around the net. Puck is intercepted out in front. Oh, that shot. What a chance there for Neil Broughton, and it was blocked in front of Vernon. Played out into the neutral zone. Broughton, the all-time scoring leader here with Minnesota, 722 points. But meanwhile,
Tenorti's going to get a high sticking penalty as he combed Rick Natras after they collided. Natras.
And Harry, as we know, the Kings can score a lot of goals. They've scored 2 quick ones. They have now tied it up at the Forum 4-4. Dave Taylor has tied it up. Kings and Canadiens 4-4 in the second.
Well, the penalties have been meted out, although they haven't been put up on the scoreboard yet. Rick Natras is mystified why he gets a penalty. But let's have a look at it here. There's Tenorti and Natras colliding right at the blue line.
Rick Natras, 2 minutes for high sticking. Time and penalty, 10:40.
And Tenorti did not get one. That was my mistake. Natras thought he got one, too. He's shaking his head.
that comes at 10:47.
He's telling the policeman there he can't believe getting arrested like that on the ice with hardly any evidence.
There you go. There wasn't even a trial, was there?
Well, there's no vote when the referee blows his whistle and puts his arm up. You're guilty.
So again, Minnesota with a man advantage. Did not capitalize on the first chance, and they get another shot at it. Back to Tenorti. Tenorti along the boards. To the side of the net, they work it out in front. It just went across the goal mouth. Comes back to Tenorti once again. And it's back into the neutral zone, where Broughton had to cover up rather quickly to prevent a Calgary break. Finally, it's belted down the ice. Frank Musial, who was very much looking forward to playing here, showed a lot of intensity early. Bellows trying to move in. He dropped it. Prop couldn't get at the puck. Tenorti's in deep. Tenorti looking now. Got it into the corner for Bellows at the side of the net. For Gagne split it. Dropped right across the front of the net and nobody there. Here's Bellows. Couldn't control the puck. Takes the shot now. Rebound out in front. Musial couldn't get it away. Gagne at the line. Good positional play. Tenorti's shot deflected wildly out in front. They score!
Brian Bellows finally put it in. 2 excellent plays by the North Stars to recover the puck when the Flames got it. A diving recovery by Brian Prop kept it alive, and then this is what resulted. Tenorti puts it on the net. There are 2 North Stars, or 3 North Stars, and only 1 Flame, and Al McInnes gets to Brian Bellows just a second too late. Here's another look at it. 3 North Star forwards. Musial's trying to knock one down, and just before Bellows is knocked down, or knocked in behind the net, he puts it in. And Brian Bellows had a hot hand yesterday with 3 assists. and scores his 29th goal of the season on the power play.
306 goals in his 9-year career in the National Hockey League. And Minnesota opens up a 2-1 edge.
He's the first North Star, Ed, in the history of the team to go 60 points or more 7 consecutive seasons, and that was his 65th point.
Berzan gets all tied up by Reichel. Now the puck is taken away by McClelland. McClelland going to the boards, fighting hard, but Berzan breaks up into center. Berzan going in with Smale. He is stopped. Puck is put to the front of the net, knocked away. McClelland is there, comes back to the line. Chambers makes the shot, takes the shot. It didn't get through. Calgary coming back now. Reichel steaming up the left side, looking for a little support, gets it back to the line. The shot by Guy, and Hayward knocks it down.
Minnesota's got kind of a no-name defense, you know. There's not a lot of guys that have made much of a mark for themselves in the National League. But their defense core is the most improved in the National Hockey League. And Mark Tenorti, in my opinion, number 24, is the most improved player in this league. But this defense made up of Giles and Glenn and Dahlquist and Johnson, Tenorti, Chambers, Wilkinson when they play them. They're strong. They're a strong physical defense. They don't try and do very much, and the coaching staff has got them jumping into all kinds of rushes as the fourth man. And here's the shot from the point.
And back we go to the live action. Behind the net, puck is taken by Giles. Back to the line. The shot by Natras. It bounced out in front. Now a potential 3-on-2. Bellows coming over the line. Couldn't feed it through. It just missed the target. Goes to the corner. Mix up along the boards. Comes loose. Covered there by Natras. He gives the puck away. Flipped out beside the net. The wraparound, and Vernon was at the corner. There really wasn't much of a shot on the play. Minnesota leading it.
There's what's happened since the All-Star break. Both these teams have lost but 5 games.
McKenna starting behind his net. I know all the people in Deer River, Alberta, will be glad to hear those remarks about Tenorti. And, of course, he's a former Calgary Wrangler Jr. And you're right, I understand. He's come along. Long lead pass on the right side. Fleury has to put on the brakes, turns at the blue line, still has control, gets it on the other side. McInnes couldn't control it. Gagne trying to get away. He's cut off immediately. Now over the line. Here's Wilson's shot deflected. That was off Dahlquist. Dahlquist is jammed by Gilmore behind the net. Wilson going to the corner, knocks Dahlquist down. Back up very quickly into center. The puck is cleared into the Calgary zone. McKenna starting back. We've got 6 minutes remaining in the opening period. Minnesota leading by a 2-1 score. Just like the Calgary Flames, Minnesota's been very tough at home. Now it's called at the blue line, offside.
This is the 15th time the Minnesota North Stars have played back-to-back games this season. They are 4-8-3 on the second night of back-to-back games, which this is. And this is the second game of a stretch where the North Stars play 6 games in 9 nights. And it's during these 6 games that they play the Toronto Maple Leafs twice, and they hope next weekend to bury the Leafs. And they've got their eyes on the Red Wings. I don't know whether they can catch them. They're 9 points behind. The way they're playing and the way Detroit's struggling, they may just catch them.
I think you're absolutely right with the way Minnesota's playing. Look out in the playoffs. They have potential for upset.
Well, you know, Chicago and St. Louis that have battled all year for first in the division and first overall are looking forward to playing each other. But both of them have a date with the team before they play each other. And if one of them dare looks too far ahead, they could find themselves playing golf by the middle of April.
Along the boards now, and the puck is covered up there. So there's another face-off.
Well, the attendance here, again, doesn't look very good. What you have to realize is that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, the state high school hockey championship took place with doubleheaders in the afternoon and the evening, with every game televised. And then today and tomorrow, the WCHA College Playoff is on. This afternoon, a game, tonight a game, and then 2 more tomorrow with St. Paul. Only 3 times this year have the North Stars drawn over 10,000 fans in this rink that seats 15,093.
I wonder if some of the viewers believed what you were saying about high school hockey. It's live on television, and their 3-day attendance was over 100,000 people. Unbelievable.
Well, it's the biggest 3 days in hockey in the Twin Cities, and has been for quite a while, and it kind of makes me wonder why the North Stars are playing 3 games at home during
this period. Bad scheduling.
Let's get started. Lethbridge Battery for the best new battery prices in town, guaranteed.
And coming up in the first intermission, I'll talk to a former Flame, now in his 3rd year with Minnesota, Perry Berezan, and highlights from the Tigers and the Flames from a month ago. Ed, that was a heck of a hockey game.
I look forward to that, Tigers, and I will bet on who won that game. You think the Townsend Tigers might have? Oh, I shouldn't kill the ending on that, should I? Watch, it's a great feature. Calgary is down by a goal. They're in their own zone. Sutter along the boards. Matteau got it back to his defenseman, Guy. Guy now turning, works his way up into center. It's notable that defenseman Jim Kite has been benched for the last couple of games by the Flames. They're taking a look at other guys, as it were.
Well, Kevin Guy, you know, Calgary made 2 trades to get players back that they traded away. And, you know, the one gamble on any trade is you really don't know what you're getting. You know exactly what you're giving. But in those 2 deals Calgary made, the one for Wilson and the one for Kevin Guy, they knew what they were giving and they knew exactly what they were getting. And I think that reduces the chance of making a mistake on a trade.
And then they got the toughness of Ronnie Stern thrown in.
Boy, the players were all talking about what a nice addition to the lineup he was. He's only played a couple of games, but I guess his physical presence was obvious last night.
Here's Giles, dumps the puck along the boards. It's taken there by Alf Dahlen. Dahlen works it ahead to Broughton. Broughton content to pump it in. Going to the corner is Makarov. He overskated the puck. Broughton got it away. Now stepping out of the corner into the slot area. The shot just went across the front of the net rather harmlessly. And Calgary's back into center. Here's Makarov. Makarov stops, works his way in. Over to McCown, takes the shot. Roberts on the rebound, and then the net is really knocked flying.
Chicken Delight, now offering their professional catering team to Clare's home and area. They'll help you plan your Christmas party, wedding reception, or any other event. Their banquet room is also available. Just give them a call.
Oh, don't cook tonight. Tonight, all right. Oh, Chicken Delight.
The people at Custom Engine may not fix your car this fast, but they'll fix it that good. Custom Engine, complete automotive machining from the heads down.
Brian Hayward's had to put up with 9 shots from the Flames and about 8 forwards going to the net without the puck. And the North Stars, by the way, have started to do that very well. Of course, Calgary, for quite a while now, has had the upper hand with the Philadelphia Flyers on forwards to the net without the puck.
There's the slam-bang line, the combination of Otto, Stern, and McClelland. Doug Risebrough has been mixing up his lines to some degree. We've also seen McClelland working with Gilmore and Fleury at times. Face-off is to the right of Hayward. Puck goes down. Hayward plays it around the net. Goes to the boards. Handled there by Tenorti. Flipped up ahead now. Bellows breaks into center. Bellows turning on the speed. He's stopped by Kevin Guy. They still scrap for the puck. Scramble behind the net. Guy clears it to safety. Then it's taken over by Gary Suter. Suter tramping out of his zone. Comes over the line. Suter finally ridden off the play by Dahlquist. They scramble for the puck. The puck is stripped away by Dahlen. Dahlin, the former New York Ranger, who of late has really been playing outstanding hockey here. Tenorti trying to set it up, fires it all the way down the ice, and of course that's icing against Minnesota.
Well, you know, the Minnesota North Stars have really been part of the reason the Calgary Flames are doing as well as they have. In 1985 and 87, Calgary used second-round picks they acquired from the North Stars for Kent Nielsen and picked up Joe Nieuwendyk and Stefan Matteau. And then, with Churla and Berezin going to Minnesota for McClellan in the 4th round, they picked up Robert Reichel. And this year, the Flames traded Mark Bureau to Minnesota for a 3rd round. I wonder what he's going to be like. And then, of course, František Musil has been a nice addition for the Flames. So there are North Star fingerprints all over this Flame lineup.
Large degree of success, you'd have to say.
And 3 different general managers made those trades. So you can't say that Fletcher had a buddy he was working with in all of them.
Bureau against Gilmore. Former teammates. Puck is dropped. Gilmore got the draw. Fleury holds it in. Goes to the corner, and it's taken there by Johnson around the net. On the left side for Gavin. Johnson coming up to center. Tried the shot. That was deflected over top the net. Vernon plays it high off the glass. They work for the puck there. Goes to the side of the net once again. It's held in, however, by Chambers. Bureau working hard behind the net, couldn't get it away. Fleury knocked it into the neutral zone. All this, Gilmore is really flattened as he went across the blue line. He was trying to get at the puck. Out in front, they score! Fleury! Fleury, and the beat goes on.
Well, a real breakdown by the North Stars and some good hustle by Gilmore. And, of course, Fleury, everything he touches goes into the net now. And he scores his 45th goal of the season from Gilmore. And they may give another assist. As you can see that Hayward had no chance. Where the North Stars went, I don't know. They sure weren't around. Here it is here. 2 or 3 of the North Stars who were in a cruise. There's 4 of them, 5 of them, but they're all, not one of them takes a look over his shoulder to see if there's any dangerous person in front of the net. And if you don't think Theron Fleury isn't dangerous, you haven't been watching this team play lately.
And Gilmore showing lots of get up and go. I was watching him mugged at the blue line. Then, lo and behold, he was up so quickly and set up Fleury. And it makes it a 2-2 hockey game. Vernon plays it high in the air. It's knocked down by Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk up ahead to Roberts. Roberts on the right side. Moves into the slot. Put it across the goal mouth. Hayward kicks it on out of there. Comes right out in front. The shot. Oh, Hayward with a fine save off Natras at point-blank range. Calgary beginning to turn it on now. They appear at the moment to have the Stars a little bit rattled. Up the boards. It's trapped there by Dahlquist. Gets it over on the other side. And it bounds all the way to Vernon. And Suter will start back for the Flames. Tied at 2, just a couple of minutes remaining in the first period here in Bloomington, Minnesota. Now Reichel forechecking, stole the puck away, but Broughton covered up, then he lost control. Reichel, a shot, rebound, the drive bounces in front of the net. They're still working at the corner, trying to get at the puck. Fenton going after it there. Suter trying to hold it in, and Calgary with a close call. They're doing some great forechecking, Harry.
Well, Calgary's a good forechecking team, and the North Star defense, big, strong, but not great with the puck. And if you can hurry them up, they'll make some errors.
Tenorti going rink wide, and the puck is cleared by Dahlin to the line, but Calgary has possession. Flipped up into the center ice area. Back goes Tenorti. Tenorti operates with Chambers as a blue line pair. He fed it through to Prop. Prop stops now. Plays it to the corner. It's cleared out in front, but Fleury was there, and Fleury starts back. Fleury tied up this game moments ago. Comes to the blue line, trying to work his way through. Bodies go flying. Fleury still after the puck. Now it's Carey Wilson going in after it. Wilson along the boards. It's broken up, and Gagne returns now for Minnesota. We're into the final minute of play in the opening period. From a bad angle, the puck came out in front, and it just missed Mike Modano, who would have been in all by his lonesome. Fleury coming back, flips it through. Gilmore Goes to the corner. Wilson is there. Gilmore chasing the puck to the other side. Taken away by Johnson, the former Pittsburgh Penguin. And it's back up into the neutral zone for Musil. 25 seconds left in the period as Musil starts it off, gets it on the right side. Cleared around behind the net. Minnesota beginning to settle down now after being rather mesmerized by the Fleury goal. But there's Fleury with the puck once again. Got it to the line. McClellan shot. Hayward the save. Puck is in the slot area, and back comes Minnesota. Up into the center ice area. Cutting on the right side. Smale. And the period is over.
Well, a bit of a strange period. Both teams took 3 or 4 minute periods where they dominated the other team. And to score 2-2 is probably a fair indication of the play, but at times it looked like the North Stars were far better. And then, of course, the Flames, especially in the last 3 or 4 minutes, looked like the dominant team.
And Harry told you the score after 20 minutes of play. It's Minnesota 2, Calgary 2.
Ties the game at 2 after 1. Well, things are going well for the North Stars. They have been now for about 6 weeks, and interesting, that's when Perry Berezan became a regular in the lineup. Coincidence there or what?
I don't know. Maybe some people like to think so. I don't know how. I think it just took some time for the team to gel. I think we had new coaches, we had new players, and I think it just took some time for everything to gel, and now things are starting to work.
Bob Gainey adjusting to his style. I guess it's a lot like the Montreal style as far as forechecking is concerned and playing a Montreal defensive style.
It really is, and it's a lot different from what we used last year. So, like I say, it did take some time for us to get used to it and to know exactly what to do in every situation. And now the players have really picked it up, and it's working pretty well.
I had heard that perhaps Bob Gainey was a little too soft, that the North Stars perhaps missed the Pierre Paget's emotion. I mentioned that to Doug Risebrough. He just nodded his head and says, no way.
Well, Bob's pretty intense, too. I think Pierre and Bob are different in different areas because Bob is a little, he keeps it inside, but you know when he's mad. Pierre doesn't keep anything inside. He just lets it all hang out, and you don't have to doubt when Bob's mad because all you have to do is look at him, and that speaks for itself.
Perry, it's my first time here in Bloomington in about 4 years. They had larger crowds then. You played in the Saddledome, 20,000 or so. You played hockey in Edmonton and North Dakota. A lot of fans. What's it like as a player when you have 5,000 to 10,000 watching?
It's tough. You know, this year has been really bad. Last year, I think we had a few more because they gave away a lot of tickets. But this year's it's been tough. I think at the beginning of the year, the guys didn't know how to react to it. You don't have that extra push when you need it from the fans, but these fans, even 6,000 of them, they make a lot of noise, and I guess that's the key. It's still disappointing to look and see the empty seats, but us as players, all we can do about that is try and win hockey games.
Former Flame owner Norm Green is the owner for the Stars, and I hear that the media's been against him for some of the things he's been doing, but you and the players, I guess, appreciate some of the things he's trying to get people in here.
I think some of the media have been negative towards what he's doing, but I think there's a lot more who really do appreciate and see that Norm is giving as great of an effort as possible to try and turn things around. He's tried a lot of things, and he's still trying some things, and I think he's got a longer-term plan, and he's just going to wait to see how things work. And again, all we can do as players is win games, because if we win games, the city here will back us.
Nice seeing Perry Berezan once again.
Good to see you, Grant.
All right, Perry Berezan of the North Stars. They are tied with the Flames 2-2 after 2. Coming up next, the biggest game of the Flames season, the Tigers and the Flames. Highlights and the story. Harry Wilson has scored his second goal as a Flame. He has 4 points in 3 games with the Flames since the trade last Tuesday, 2-2 after 1. There's one team that always gives the Calgary Flames fits, and they played them about a month ago. The Tigers from Gordon Townsend School at the Alberta Children's Hospital. Despite the long losing streak, the Flames were loose in their dressing room before the game. Over the years, the Flames' top scorer against the Tigers, Gary Roberts.
5 years. This is my 5th year.
Got about 20. I think about 23, 24.
Is that right?
No passes, though. No pass. No pass.
Colin Patterson is seeing game action for the first time since he went on the injury list in September. Robert sensed Patterson was nervous.
Come back deep. Come back deep on the breakout. All right? And I'll be flying. I'll be flying through the middle, hit me, breakaway, goal. Okay? We'll try that a few times. If it doesn't work, then you just flip it all the way down. I'll be standing by the goal net.
Well, can I stand with you down there?
Well, sure. We'll see how your knee holds up.
Before the game, the Flames mingled with the fans and signed autographs.
Who's have you got so far?
Merzen, Fleury, and Hunter.
Meanwhile, in the Tiger dressing room,
We're going to play our positions tonight, okay, and check these guys because I hear they're really weak in their own zone. So we got to check them really quickly. And lots of teamwork and talking it up, okay? 100%, okay, guys? 1, 2, 3. Yeah! 1, 2, 3.
Yeah! The game's underway. The Flames, frustrated by the Tigers' close checking. They're watching the high-scoring Roberts closely.
2 hands in the stick. All right.
Later, Theron Fleury is caught with 2 hands on his stick. The Tigers take advantage of the extra man and score the game's first goal. The prettiest goal of the game comes at the expense of Flames goalie Rick Natras. The wraparound, always a goalie's nightmare. The faces on the Townsend Tigers tell the story. They're confident they'll beat the Flames for the 12th straight year. The game wasn't without dissension, and there was the stick measurement on Flames' new goalie, Tim Hunter. After Gary Roberts put the Flames in front by 1, the Tigers come back to tie it up at 5. With less than a minute to go in regulation play, the Tigers call a timeout.
Okay, Brent? Okay, Brent. As soon as you get the draw, shoot on net, okay? And everyone go for the net, okay? We got to get it in. Go for the net. All right? Okay. And make sure you tie up one of the Flames. All right? Okay, let's go.
And just as their coach told them to do, the Tigers storm the Flames' net. But the horn sounds. This game is going to overtime. In the extra time period, it's all Tigers, and they get the game-winning goal. For the 12th consecutive season, the Gordon Townsend Tigers at the Children's Hospital beat the Calgary Flames.
Take a victory lap, buddy. Take a victory lap. Let's go. Right around. Right around.
The Tigers take a well-deserved victory lap. All those long hours of practicing finally pays off. And congratulations to the Tigers. All the Flames can do now is regroup and try and beat them again next season. We're going to regroup and check out a busy Sunday in the NHL. The out-of-town scoreboard is coming up next.
Be a future star. Takes a lot of keeping up from you, but you can't beat the feeling when you do. Can't beat it. Coca-Cola Classic. Can't beat the reason.
Our triple-header week continues on channels 2 and 7. 2 more games coming up at the Saddledome. The Jets are there on Tuesday. Islanders there on Thursday. Both games live on 2 and 7 at 7:30. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Canadian Western Natural Gas, the best flame in town for heating, cooking, and barbecuing. The big game for the Flames in Montreal, Kings and Canadiens tied at 4 in the third. In Edmonton, it's the Oilers leading the Capitals 2-1 in the second. The Penguins win again over the Islanders. Pittsburgh second. The Patrick Division, 4 behind the Rangers. At Winnipeg this afternoon, the Jets edge the Devils. Ed Olczyk with 2, he has 24. Winnipeg improves their lead on the Vancouver Canucks to 3 points. However, the Canucks are still playing in Buffalo. They are tied at 3 in the third. Before tonight, Hartford was 2 points behind Buffalo as they fight for third in the Adams. Right now, Quebec and Hartford tied at 1 in the third. The Rangers with a chance to extend their lead on the second place Rangers. Steve Larmer has scored for the Hawks 1-0 Chicago in the first. At the St. Louis Arena, Brett Hull has scored his 77th. 3-1 though, the Wings lead the Blues. At the Met Center.
Period scoring summary is brought to you by Jack Carter Chevrolet's Cadillac. See them first at Glenmore and McLeod and drive into the 90s Cadillac style. Giles from Broughton, the scoring play. Wilson then from Ottawa and Stern. That's the first point in his career with Calgary for Stern. Bellows from Tenorti and Gagne, and then Fleury from Gilmore. Once again tying it up, and you see the shots on goal. The slight edge to the Calgary Flames, and we wind up one period all square at 2.
Well, both goalies had some difficult saves to make, and really 2-2. It would be a lot more than 2-2 if the goalies hadn't been fairly sharp. I think Vernon had more of the difficult variety of shots to stop. North Stars have a quick team, quick forwards, especially on their 2 offensive lines, and they jump their defensemen into a lot of rushes, and with their quickness they can cause some turnovers with their forechecking.
The Stars with a checking line of Bureau, Gavin, and Duchesne against the Gilmore line, which has Fleury on the right side. And the puck is on down the ice. They keep flip-flopping the left winger on that line, it seems. Back to the line. The long shot. What a grab by Mike Vernon. Oh, he plucked that one out of the air.
Did make a nice stop there on a quick shot. As the shot goes from the point, and some traffic in front, and Vernon caught it. No rebound. As you can see, 2 Stars heading for the net. Mark Bureau and Stuart Gavin.
Now the shift a moment ago on the Gilmore line. Stern was playing on the left side. Now Fenton moves in.
Well, both Riseborough and Gainey must have paid attention to Scotty Bowman's line juggling when they played for him, because both of them are not above doing it. And Bob Gainey is trying hard to get matchups, and Riseborough's not making it easy on him to get the ones he wants.
Out of the corner. McKenna's trying to get it out. It's held in along the boards by Bureau, who put it behind the net. Gavin is after it there. He knocks his check down, but the puck is underneath Gilmore, and thus the stoppage in play.
Well, you know, the North Stars are one of 2 teams that are going to alter their uniforms next year. They're going to change from the traditional green uniforms on the road to black ones. They're going to change the logo, that N with a star on the top, and I think they're going to change their name and just call them the Stars. The Quebec Nordique is the other team that are going to make alterations to their uniform and change the design. And of course, we'll have a new uniform in the league next year. Some of these fellows that are playing in white shirts tonight will be playing for the Sharks next year.
Puck is back at the line. The flip to the corner. It's taken over there by Natras, who bursts into center. Got it on the left side for Gilmore. Gilmore jammed out of the play, and it's back into the neutral zone. Fleury. He's being watched by Gavin. Flipped it out into center ice. Puck is taken over there by Fleury once again. Fleury waiting. Puts it on the other side. Intended for Natras. He had to reach for it. Passed it to the corner. Calgary with possession in the zone. It comes back to the line. Matteau getting it to the other side. Gilmore is there. Fleury in the corner looking. Fleury steps around Johnson. Still has the puck. Then he is knocked down along the boards. There's a delayed penalty call coming up here.
Fleury's going to get it, Ed, for retaliating. That's once he's retaliated. Then Stefan Matteau walks in and gets tangled up with Stuart Gavin. But Fleury's going to get the first penalty. He may even get 2. And then Matteau and Gavin decide to solve the problem that Theron Fleury started.
range. Matteau getting a slight right in there.
Stuart Gavin missed 19 games. He hurt his knee 3 different times. He's a valuable checking forward. His Stars picked up on waivers from the Hartford Whalers 3 years ago. But he's had a difficult season, playing only 30 games up until tonight.
This is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
You can see just what upset Mr. Fleury. Getting dragged along the boards there by Mark Bureau did it. And then taking a little interference call there, and he hauled Bureau down. That's the first penalty. And we haven't seen that they've been sorted out since. You can see Chicago leads the league in average penalty minutes per game. In Montreal, the most disciplined, with 6 less per game minutes.
I think they're offsetting, aren't they, Harry?
Yes. I think Calgary got a bit of a break on the calls there. Matteau came in to the rescue of his little line mate, and I thought would get an instigator penalty, but I guess he didn't. Bob Gainey doesn't agree with the call either. I was talking to Bob Gainey. I've been here a couple of times in the last 10 days. Bob says, I keep telling my players that good team defense wins games. They don't always believe me, even when I point out that I played on a National League team that never lost a game when we shut the opposition out. He doesn't get mad very often, but he certainly doesn't agree with referee Trotier's decision on this one.
Well, all of this altercation coming up at the 1:20 mark of the second period. We're tied at 2. Met center in Bloomington, Minnesota. Puck is held in the zone, comes out. Roberts can't get out of there. Backhanded behind the net by Dahlquist. Then it's played off the glass and into the crowd. And is he going to call delay? Did it catch it en route?
Well, the short glass starts pretty quickly here. And I think that puck went over without touching the glass. And Mike Vernon's going to draw a penalty for delaying the game. Accidental, obviously, but nevertheless, the referee doesn't ask anymore whether you tried to do it. If you did it, you're gone. And the glass in rinks around the league are different heights. And you better take a look before you fire it up on the glass, because you may be in a rink where there's more low glass than high glass.
Right, the short glass does start very quickly, so that penalty is now on the board for Vernon. Delay of game, 1:34.
Number 30, goalie Michael Vernon, 2 minutes for delay of game.
Calgary with Otto and Gilmore, the penalty-killing unit up front. Musial and McInnes back. And it's Musial who clears it all the way down the ice. Hayward will leave it there. Broughton will organize. Broughton, the veteran center, 32 years old, starting his way up to his blue line now. Put it all the way at the blue line on a nice setup for Bellows. Couldn't control the puck. Bellows, side of the net. They jam there. It's knocked away. Musial gets in traffic, knocks it to the line, not across. Otto working his way up into center. Here's McInnes going in with Neuendijk. McInnes couldn't get the shot because Broughton had checked him. Partially blocked it. And that's just as well probably for Brian Hayward. Now the long lead pass to Prock. He drops the puck there. Bellows couldn't get through. And there's another penalty coming up here against Calgary. Trouble for the Flames. You're watching the Flames on 2-7.
Don't miss GM's really great spring breaks. We're waiting to give you the best price break we can. Just say the 6 magic words, give me a really great break, and we will. Maybe you say, I want a really terrific break on a fuel-efficient compact pickup. The Chevrolet S10 or GMC Sonoma. Okay. Or maybe it's give me a fabulous break on a full-size Chevrolet or GMC. Canada's best-selling trucks. You got it.
Well, it's a sellout in the penalty box, the Calgary side of it anyway. And here's the penalty here. Number 2, McInnes, who just had the good opportunity on a rush, grabs the stick of Dave Gagne and holds onto it for an awful long time until finally Gagne gives it to him. So for 1 minute and 14 seconds, the Calgary Flames will be down 2 men. And the North Stars have a real opportunity here of going ahead in this game.
tied at 2. 1 minute, 14 seconds, as Harry mentioned.
Take a look at here for them trying to get the puck to number 9, Modano, on the point and let him wire one, and he can really shoot it.
Modano and Bratton will play the point, although Bratton has to move into the face-off now because Gagne was chased. Otto. They scramble. Puck comes loose to Prop. Prop along the boards. He's knocked down. Gilmore gets possession, and boy, does he relieve the pressure, putting it up the ice.
Well, boy, one of the real secrets to good penalty killing is win the face-offs if you're a man down, and Gilmore did.
Here's Gagne now. Gagne looking. Calgary 2 men down. Bratton trying to move it out in front. Wide, they score! Modano! Vernon couldn't handle it.
Modano's got one of those stick blades that look a lot like a wedge, a golf club. And you don't know where that puck's going. And they love to get it to him so he can one-time it. And Neil Broughton, one of the best passers in the league, just floats it over. Modano walks into it. Vernon got a bit of it. He may have been screened by Gagne, and Prop was there to cause us some trouble. Look at the stick blade. It's unbelievable it's not illegal. And when he shoots it, it comes off it like a lacrosse shot. Modano beats Vernon from about 40 feet out. And they still have 1 minute 35 seconds left in McInnes's penalty to try and get another one.
So Modano taking advantage of the 2-man disadvantage not being enjoyed by Calgary. Minnesota taking a 3-2 lead. Now 1 minute 20 seconds left on the McInnes penalty. Minnesota with a great chance here will open up a lot of breathing room. Puck is up ahead. Gagne turns. Gagne along the board, still has control of the puck. Got it behind the net. Bellows was after it there. Bellows has it now. Gets it back to the line to Bratton. Over on the other side now. Good position. Goes behind the net. Handled there by Prop. Prop on the other side for Bellows. Bellows at the top of the circle. Gets it to Prop at the side of the net. Tried to put it out in front, and that was stopped by Vernon. Blocked at the line by Bratton. Tenorti at the blue line. Tenorti moving in, takes the shot, and it was just wide. It hit the outside of the post, actually. Bellows back to the line to Tenorti. The shot, it was deflected out in front by Prop, but knocked to the corner. Back to the line to Tenorti again. The shot, it didn't get through. Rebound! It's high in the air, goes behind the net. 15 seconds left on the penalty. Great pressure. Here's Bellows, takes the shot. That was blocked by Natras. Bellows with the puck once again. Top of the circle, gets it back to Bratton. Gagne couldn't deflect it, and he retreats to the corner with 2 seconds left on the penalty. Here's Bellows over on the other side for Tenorti. Back to Bellows. Put it across the goal mouth. Goes behind the net, and it's knocked off the moorings. Just a minute. He's going to, the puck was in the net, but I think it's off the moorings.
Well, it was a terrific play as they had Vernon moving to his right, and they threw the puck back out on the short side. And Mike Vernon was moving the wrong way. I'm not sure what Trotier's called here. The net was off, I think, Ed, but who put it off?
I thought I saw a red shirt, but I don't know. Take a look.
If the Flame player knocked it off, it's a delay of the game. Now, you see Prop starts behind the net, then throws it back out. And number 3, Frantisek Musil, did knock the net off and will get a penalty, but he probably saved a goal by doing it. Prop starts behind and throws it back out. The net's off for sure. Bellows puts it in, but after the net was knocked off. So what the Flames are doing here is they're trading a goal for a power play for the North Stars, and I think that's a good gamble.
Not a bad gamble.
Now, if that play, Ed, had taken place in the last 2 minutes or less of a game, it's a penalty shot for a deliberate delay of game. In the North Stars power play, they haven't scored on all of them, but they've had good chances on all of them, and it's a dangerous way to try and win a game by taking too many penalties.
They have a couple of power play goals, those North Stars. Along the boards for Brian Propp, the longtime Flyer. His pass is knocked down, cleared to the line. Broughton will hold it in. Propp knocked it to the corner. Propp comes out of the corner, put it behind the net. Suter challenges him. Along the boards for Bellows, back to the line for Broughton. Broughton gets it over on the other side. Tenorti going into the corner. Tenorti has the puck. Back to the line to Broughton, fakes the shot. Dipsy Dews gets it to the other side. Here's Gagne's shot. Good save. Oh, and the rebound was just belted wide. Calgary in all sorts of penalty trouble this period. And now they go back to the attack. Broughton intercepting that drop pass. It's down the ice. A chase for it there, and Vernon leaves it for Gilmore because it's going to be icing against the North Stars.
Well, a dangerous point man, Neil Broughton. When he gets the puck on the blue line, you know he's got a pass in mind that few other point men do. He leads the team in assists with 50. Last year, his 85 points were the best since 1985 when he scored 105 and became the first American to score 100 points. And here he is weaving a little magic there and gets it over to Gagne after spinning away from the penalty-killing forward. He's currently number 2 in the all-time U.S. scoring race behind the former Flame Joe Mullen. And Ed, he's a free agent without compensation July 1st. I wonder where he'll end up.
50 seconds remaining on the penalty to Musil. Minnesota leading the game 3-2. Vernon behind the net. Played it to the corner. His would-be pass was stopped, however. Controlled by Minnesota in the zone. Along the boards for Dahlin. Dahlin got it back into the slot area. At the top of the circle now, Minnesota playing it tough. Chambers will hold it in. Goes to the other side. Controlled there by Modano. Got it over for Chambers. Knocked out of the air. Lay there momentarily, and Fleury finally got it out into the center ice area. But back comes Minnesota. Dahlin along the boards. His drop pass is stopped by Gilmore. Deflected into center ice, and that should do it. As far as the penalty is concerned, the Calgary Flames are back to full strength. Kurt Giles in center, up ahead, moving in, and Duchesne scores! Duchesne on the rebound!
Well, that will not be a power play goal. But František Musil could not get back into the play as Giles threw the puck up to Mark Bureau, who makes a nice pass right here to Gaetan Duchesne. Vernon makes the first save, but for some reason Natras coasted instead of skated, and he might have been able to take that rebound shot away. And you can see that Vernon was helpless after giving the rebound up, but he made a pretty good save on the initial shot. And Gaetan Duchesne, the shadow they call him because of his defensive prowess, scores his 8th goal of the season. In this, his 733rd game.
And for Bureau, with the assist on that goal, that's his first point in National Hockey League play. It moves Minnesota up 4-2 as penalty woes have really bedeviled. Here's Modano coming back to the corner. Propp overskated. Gagne got it out in front. That was swept away. Comes back to the line, but Johnson was unable to hold it in. Now retreating is Suter. Calgary down by a pair of goals. Won a power play, and as Harry explained, virtually the other one on a power play. Technically not, but Musil unable to get back into the play.
Well, Eddie, if you take a lot of penalties, even if you kill them off, you get into a defensive frame of mind, and it's hard to get out of it when you start playing 5-on-5, and the Flames got to get a little offense going here because they've been on their heels killing penalties for most of this period.
And, of course, that plays hob with line combinations and length of time for specialty teams on the ice. Here's Duchesne again. Tried to put it out in front. That was blocked by McInnes. Puck was taken away by Nieuwendyk. Got it up in the center. Roberts is after it there. Nieuwendyk coming through, works his way in. Oh, what a save. Rebound, and Makarov's shot went off Hayward. Hayward, just a great save. And it's down the ice for Musil. Calgary badly needing something, down by a pair of goals to get back into this affair. Now Vernon will start Roberts off. Roberts coming into center. Goes rink wide to Makarov. Over to Neuendijk, and his shot was just wide. He was spinning and off balance when he took the shot. Quickly back up to center, and boy, the pace has really opened up now. McCown on the boards. Roberts takes his pass. Natras is forced to go behind the net. He's stopped by Bellows. Comes back to the line. Dahlquist shoots it. Bounces high in the air. Goes to the corner. Bellows comes out with a puck. Drops it along the boards. Held at the line by Tenorti. And some territorial pressure here by Minnesota till finally it's up into center. Here's Makarov. He is knocked down, and there's going to be a penalty here. I believe it's against Dahlquist. And Calgary, at long last, gets the power play going.
LA and Montreal still tied at 4 late in the third. The Oilers tied with the Capitals 3-3 in the second. And Vancouver gets a go-ahead goal by Robert Cron. It is now 5-3 in Buffalo. And Winnipeg won this afternoon 4-3 over New Jersey.
Harry, you live in the Buffalo area. What in the world is wrong with the Sabres? By the way, I'll tell you that it's confirmed Dahlquist is in the penalty box.
They haven't won a home game since January 22nd. Oh, could be the end of Rick Dudley. There's been all kinds of talk for more than a month. There's the penalty to Dahlquist. Makarov hasn't done one thing tonight that I've seen except draw that tripping penalty. They got to get him on a neutral.
Face off at the top of the circle.
But you're right, Eddie. Makarov's a guy, if there's a lot of penalties, he sits on the bench for long stretches, and you can lose interest in the game if you're not careful. They need to get him re-interested in soon.
Against Berezan, there's the shot by Suter. Comes back to McInnes. McInnes flips it to the corner, side of the net. The shot by Otto. That was stopped by Hayward with relative ease. Comes back to the line. Gilmore holds it. Top of the circle. Looking, gets it across to McInnes. The shot. Good save by Hayward in a crowd. Gilmore behind the net, out to Otto. Put it along the boards, back to the line. Suter playing it off the boards to the other side. McInnes, and Hayward put the toe to that one. McInnes really trying to set up Otto for the deflection out front.
Now McInnes, with 53 power play points coming into tonight's game, leads the NHL in that department and currently has a 6-game point streak going with 8 points in those 6 games. And Al McInnes is a guy that can burn you with the shot, and he has added, as you say, Ed, to his repertoire back there, a half a shot, and that's what that is. And he's hoping that his teammate, who we saw in front, can tip it in. The goalie doesn't know whether the whole shot's coming or the half shot's coming, but he knows if it hits him, whether it was the whole one or the half one.
1:25 left on the penalty to Dahlquist of Minnesota. 4-2. Minnesota Stars leading the Flames. Fleury got it back quickly. McInnes back to Fleury. Fleury has one of the goals tonight. Fleury patrolling at the blue line, looking, gets it over on the other side. Neuendijk is there. Neuendijk looking, put it back to Fleury. Fleury, top of the circle, gets it back to the line. McInnes shot, and that was just deflected wide. Held in by Neuendijk. Back to the line. Here's McInnes again, and Hayward kicks that out. Calgary again with possession, trying to set up the point, but it had been vacated, and Fleury has to go back. He's being watched. Now it's Suter organizing. 45 seconds left on the penalty. He drives it to the goaltender. Put it behind the net. It's played off the boards and goes down the ice. Back goes McInnes. 30 seconds left on the penalty now. Rink wide to Makarov. Bounced into the Minnesota zone. Tenorti trying to clear. He can't. Neuendijk trapping the puck at the side of the net. Loses control of it. And again, it's down the ice.
Well, the North Stars are doing a pretty good job at keeping the shots from the outside. Even though Al McInnes can hurt you from there, they're not giving any close-range opportunities away.
Here's Suter. Over on the other side, McInnes played it off the boards for Fleury. Back to McInnes. McInnes moving along the boards, put it across. The flurry couldn't get the shot away, and the North Stars are back to full strength, and the net is off its moorings.
See that the Calgary Flames have feasted on the Norris Division this year, but not quite so true, the North Stars against their Smythe enemies. 4-4 in Montreal. LA and Montreal, they are in OT.
And here we are in the second period, a little past the halfway mark in Bloomington, Minnesota, with the North Stars leading the Calgary Flames 4-2. Feasting on some Flames penalties in this second period. Tenorti rips the puck to the corner. McCowan plays it off the boards. McClelland is there. McClelland fires to an open wing. That's intercepted by Tenorti. Goes behind the net. Natras playing it along the boards. Reichel is there. Reichel flipping it up ahead. He couldn't set up Mateau. Now McClelland couldn't control the puck. It's knocked out into the center ice area by McCowan. And Minnesota going back to the attack now. Up into the center ice area. Prop drives it deep, but that allows Minnesota to change their skaters. And Reichel starts off behind his own net. Over to Natras. Natras up ahead. It was intended for Fenton, who's just come on the ice. However, he couldn't get at the puck. And Minnesota beginning, it looks like to me at this point in the game, at any rate, to play with great confidence, Harry.
They certainly have done that, and I think you'll see them lay off a little bit on their offense and try and protect this 2-goal lead with about 7.5 minutes left in the second period. It's a bit dangerous to do it, but Bob Gainey and Doug Jarvis spent a lot of time doing that in their career, so you can bet they're trying to get these boys to do it.
Ron Stern knocked the puck to center. However, straight back comes Dahlin, but he gets a rude reception from Captain Jamie McCowan. Back comes Calgary. Puck is belted off the boards by Stern, goes to the corner. And once again, Minnesota coming back. Broughton plays it over on the other side for Chambers. Chambers leaving it at the line. The shot, and it just trickled wide. Calgary trying to gain possession in their own zone. They do. Kevin Guy put it over on the left side. Now busting up the boards. Suter got it back to Guy. Guy on the boards. It's behind the net. Roberts can't get at it there, and Minnesota covering well in their own zone. They get it up into center with Gagne. Gagne, the trigger man for this club, along with Modano. Very tough combination. Came into the slot, but Calgary coming back. Pass was too far ahead of Neuendijk. He chases it nonetheless, but then he's cut off along the boards. We've played nearly 14 minutes of the second period. And the Minnesota North Stars are leading the Calgary Flames 4-2. Tenorti is jammed by Roberts. They get their sticks up behind the play, but nothing comes of it, although Tenorti took a swing and lost his helmet in the process, his own helmet. Now Calgary. Puck goes to the corner. It's off the boards once again, back up into the neutral zone. Minnesota is sure playing check, check, check. Here's Gilmore trying to weave his way. There's 5 guys lined up at the line to stop him.
Calgary's got to get that puck deep when they see 4 guys strung across the blue line. They try and stick handle through, and they give it away. They're going to get burned.
Now it's Gilmore. Gilmore puts it behind the net for McInnes. Musil covers up at the side of the net and starts off into center. Long lead pass is deflected by Gilmore. Going back for it was Brian Glynn. And it comes down the ice. And now there's going to be a penalty call here against Minnesota. So the Calgary net is empty as McCown starts it off. And, of course, immediately a star touched the puck. Play was stopped.
Now with their power play, which has been pretty good to them this season, they're second in the league with a 22.9% success rate, but they need it to work now.
Second only to the New York Rangers. Now up in the center. It's rattled in by McInnes. Hayward plays it there. Elects to cover up because there were 3 red shirts surrounding him.
Had a good year in that department. They Need one now, never mind the 100.
Put it to the side. Otto got it back to Reichel, and his shot was a knuckler that came down in front. Wilson on the boards now. Wilson trying to hold it in, goes flying, but he did get it to Reichel. To Otto at the corner, tried to set it up at the line, but it went outside. Now it's Wilson along the boards. Hayward plays the puck, trying to clear it out, and it goes down the ice all right with 1 minute, 10 seconds left. Vernon got it up to his defenseman, Suter, who starts it off again. Suter to the blue line, trying to get around a check. He does. Fishing for the puck, goes behind the net, comes back to McInnes. Makarov can't get it away from Tenorti, and Tenorti returns. Look at this. Here's the break. Berzan going in. The backhander scores!
Well, Mark Tenorti made the play. And boy, if he isn't the most improved defenseman in this league, I don't know who is. He got it up to Perry Berzan, who got in all alone from just beyond the red line and went to his backhand to beat Mike Vernon. Here's Tenorti. This guy's going to be a horse in this league. There's the pass. It looked like it was offside, but it hit Gary Suter's stick. That put Berzan onside. He fakes the shot, goes to his backhand, and puts it between the post and the arm of Mike Vernon, who I think he thought he had it. Now here's the play I'm talking about. Tenorti came over to the North Stars from the Rangers, struggled, looked awkward, had trouble last year, but this year he's become a force in this team. He leads the North Star defenseman in scoring. He can fight. He's tough. He's everything you like to see in a defenseman.
Well, for Perry Berzan, a short-handed effort, his third of the season. For short-handed, that is, and his 10th in total for the campaign. Former Flame. Calgary down now 5-2. It's uphill now. Musil playing it around the boards. Gilmore is there. He is stopped. Comes back to the line. McCown has the puck. Tried to feed it to Gilmore. Gilmore has Giles all over him. Now Gilmore gets the puck again. Gilmore trying to work his way out front. He was checked. Gilmore couldn't hold the puck in, and it's all the way down the ice. And Vernon lofts it up to center. Intended for Fleury. It got away from him and went all the way down the ice. 5-2. Minnesota leading Calgary. Calgary on a 6-game winning streak, but having problems here tonight against the North Stars, who have been very tough at home. Tenorti in center. He just about ran over by Gilmore. Gilmore ducked at the last possible moment, but now we've got another penalty call.
They beat the Whalers 2-1, and the Wings hang on to beat the Blues 3-1.
Couple of surprising scores there, Harry, but meantime, it's Fleury in the penalty box, and another power play chance for Minnesota, and they've had a ton of them tonight. Comes back to the line, held in there by Brian Glynn, got it along the boards, were brought back to Glynn over on the other side into the slot area, and then swept down the ice by Joel Otto. Fenton goes back to look at Hayward, but Glynn gets away. He pulls Glynn down. Play goes on. Gagne turning for Minnesota now. Couple of minutes left in the period. 1.5 minutes left on the penalty. Prop to Bellows. Bellows couldn't control it. McCown plays it off the boards, and it's down the ice.
Well, I think the North Stars wondered when they came into tonight's game whether they could beat this Calgary team. But as the game wore on, I think they became convinced they could, and now Calgary's got more than a handful.
Tenorti going behind the net, steps out there, untouched, and his shot was blocked by Musil. Now it's Prop out in front to Tenorti. Oh, a great save by Vernon with Tenorti staring down at him. The puck on his stick. Vernon blocked him. Now 40 seconds left on the penalty to Fleury, and behind the net, Mike Modano goes up into center ice. They've sure have a breakout pattern going. Here's Bellows. He tried the shot. That was blocked quickly by Kevin Guy. And then Fenton drove it into the crowd. Grant Pollock, what's doing in intermission number 2?
And I'll be talking with Brian McClellan. He is back in the lineup after missing the last 2 games, and it's a busy Sunday. So 8 other games going on tonight. We'll tell you who wins and who loses.
Well, Mike Vernon had to make a big stop on Mark Tenorti. He's been everywhere tonight. This is a power play, don't forget, so he doesn't mind walking in from the blue line to see if he can get a chance. And Vernon made the save. He wasn't sure where the puck was after he stopped it, but he stopped it. And Mike Vernon's made 16 saves and allowed 5 goals, but hasn't had much of a chance on most of them. And the North Stars are outworking and outskating the Flames here in period 2, and that's been the difference.
1 minute remaining in the period, exactly. 23 seconds on the Fleury penalty. Back to the line, the shot. Vernon got a toe on that drive by Brian Glenn. Puck is around the boards. Glenn out in front, scores!
Well, the point man, Brian Glenn on the power play, came off the point. No Calgary penalty-killing forward picked him up. And Glenn, who had a goal and an assist yesterday, put it in. And Joel Otto, that's his man. Even if the puck's in the far corner, he has to look over his shoulder. There's Otto, 29. He doesn't, and see where Glenn comes? And he just redirects the pass in past Mike Vernon. And as I mentioned, Glenn played a big role in yesterday's 6-2 win over Detroit with a goal and an assist. And he's one of those no-name defensemen that have been doing a good job here for the North Stars.
Well, this has been as disastrous a period as Calgary's had in a long time. There's Mateau's shot, goes to the corner. They have suffered in effect from 3 penalties, and in addition to that, gave up a shorthanded goal. So 4 goals by Minnesota, opening up a 6-2 edge now with just seconds remaining in the period. I'm sure Brian Glenn, the former Flame, really enjoyed that one. There's the long shot by Stern, handled easily by Hayward. To the corner for Giles. He's being watched. Got it back to the line. It's held in. Guy going to the corner against Giles. Stephen Mateau trying to work it out front. He's in a jam up along the boards. Reichel centered. There was no Flame in sight, and the period is over.
Well, you can't give any team in the National League the number of power plays that the Flames gave the North Stars in that period. And when you add that to the fact that the North Stars seem a little more interested in winning tonight than do the Flames, you get what you see in the scoreboard, 6-2 Minnesota.
Well, we've got a little bit of a dust-up, but now things have been calmed down to end the period. No, they're not. Basil McRae now, and Ron Stern. McRae banging away at Stern. Stern starting rather slowly in this one as McRae keeps getting that right hand in.
Basil's one of the better fighters in the National League. He really enjoys doing this. And he's done it a little longer and a little more often than has Stern. Basil McRae, 1,218 penalty minutes, 4.86 a game. And the fans give him a split decision on the pin. The pin didn't hurt, but some of those punches that they both gave and took must have.
Well, they got that right hand loose. And worked pretty rapidly with it. Well, on that note, we wind up the second period of play, I think. Okay, that's so the score after 2 periods. Minnesota 6, Calgary 2.
Part of hockey's rich tradition comes from the greatness of its dynasties. In 1983, the New York Islander dynasty won their 4th consecutive Stanley Cup over the team that would soon inherit the crown, the Edmonton Oilers. It was a classic matchup of old versus new.
The Islanders en route to Cup number 4, led by Bobby Nystrom's grit. Inspired by Mike Bossy's goal-scoring heroics. Led by Billy Smith, Conn Smythe Trophy performance, the stopper, turning back the drive. Time and time again. A proud dynasty reaching for glory. The Islanders swept the Oilers. New kids on the block. 4 consecutive Stanley Cups. A place in hockey history.
Give the Flames a tough time. They'll try again Tuesday at 7:30 on 2 and 7. Our triple header week continues on Thursday when the Islanders come to town. It's 2 more games this week on 2 and 7. Well, this season, the Flames have taken a lot of pride in their defensive game in the second period. Not so tonight. They've allowed 4 goals in that second period tonight, and they trail 6-2. And the Flames have not allowed a power play goal before tonight in the last 4 games. In tonight's game, they have allowed 3 power play goals again. 6-2 the score after 2. Let's go around the NHL right now. 8 other games going on. The important game for the Flames is in Montreal. And tonight's out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Canadian Western Natural Gas, the best flame in town for heating, cooking, and barbecuing. As mentioned, the LA Kings now 2 points up on the Flames. Kings and Canadiens tie at 4. Thomas Sandstrom had 2 for LA. At Northlands Coliseum, Nick Kyprios has just scored the go-ahead goal for the Capitals as they lead the Oilers 4-3 in the third. It's over on the island. Pittsburgh beat the Islanders 4-3. 2 goals for Peter Taglianetti and John Tucker. Tucker coming over from the Sabres a few weeks ago in a trade. The Jets won this afternoon. Ed Olczyk had 2 goals, 22 on the year, moving them 3 ahead of Vancouver. But the Canucks playing in Buffalo tonight. It's not over yet. Trevor Linden has just scored his 2nd goal of the game to put the Canucks ahead 6-4. Sergio Momesso has scored his 1st goal as a Canuck. He came over last Tuesday in a trade with St. Louis. In Hartford, Joe Sakic scores the game-winning goal, his 38th, as the Quebec Nordiques beat the Whalers 2-1. In Chicago, it's not over yet. They're in the second period. Steve Larmer scoring his 38th. Randy Moeller for the Rangers. 3-1 Hawks leading the Rangers in the second. And it's over in St. Louis. Brett Hull scored his 77th, but Johan Garpenlov scored his 16th and 17th as the Wings lose in Minnesota yesterday, but win tonight in St. Louis 3-1. Minnesota has a 4-goal lead on the Flames after 2 at the Met Center. Third period action is coming up next.
Cadillac. See them first at Glenmore and McLeod and drive into the 90s, Cadillac style. The summary reading like a Stephen King novel for the Flames, a horror story. Modano on the power play, Deschaines' goal before the penalized Musil really could get back into the play. Berezan shorthanded, and then Glenn on the power play, and it makes it a 6-2 proposition. At the end of the period, McRae and Stern drew fighting majors. Stern also a minor for... and here's the shorthanded goal before we describe that.
Berezan gets in all alone from the red line, and then you can see he puts it up and over the right arm. And here's Glenn on the power play coming off the point behind the Joel Otto, who has his back turned and just redirects the pass across into the net.
Okay, Stern for instigating got a minor, but that was offset by Johnson of Minnesota, who drew an unsportsmanlike. Now Makarov, who's been pretty silent, gets it back to McCowan, the shot, and it hit Hayward. It came through a lot of folks in front of that net, but it hit the goaltender. Calgary trying to start it off aggressively, down by 4 goals. Across the goal mouth, Reichel clearing it out in front. Benton was dumped, and there's going to be a penalty. I believe it's Giles who's going to be tagged.
Kurt Giles dumps Paul Fenton in front of the North Star net and gets called for hooking. If the Flames have any intention of trying to get back in this game, they have to score in this power play. There's the play right there. As you can see, Giles hooked him right off his feet.
Well, as Harry Neal says, they've got to score here. Down 6-2. But of course, Bob Gainey and his North Star coaching crew really preach the religion of defense. So coming back from 4 goals against this club, not that easy. It's kicked out into the center ice area. Bureau chasing it there. He's stopped by Suter, who was all over him. Back comes Neuendijk. Neuendijk working his way into center now. He's got Fleury on the right side. He's challenged at the blue line, and the puck was taken away. Tenorti turns in the corner. It's off the boards and on down the ice.
In the last 18 games, the North Stars have killed penalties at the rate of 90.4%.
That blind pass was knocked down by Bureau, and he belts at the length of the ice. 1:18 left on the penalty now to Giles of Minnesota. Calgary down by 4 goals. Badly in need of something to click here. McClellan feeding it through. The shot by Reichel. Rebound. Put it across outer front. They score. McClellan.
Well, McClellan went to the net after Robert Reichel had 1 shot. Then he had a rebound, and he threw it at the net. McClellan, who made the initial pass to Reichel, kept going right through the middle. McClellan makes the pass. In 27, he goes to the net. Mark Tenorti doesn't look over his shoulder and tries to block the pass instead of just taking McClellan, and McClellan walks in there and pumps it into the empty net. And the Calgary Flames get a much-needed goal early here in the 3rd period to make it 6-3.
Brian McClellan, obviously inspired by Grant Pollock's interview, scores to pull the Flames 1 goal closer. They're still down by 3, but hope springs eternal. It's early in the 3rd period. Berezan, he scored short-handed. He couldn't get through at the blue line. Back for it goes Giles. Played it off the boards. It's knocked right back in, but it hit one of the Flames coming out of the zone, so it's offside. That was Reichel who stopped the puck.
Well, Robert Reichel has an excellent shot, and although Hayward made the save on his shot, he couldn't handle it. Came back out to Reichel. He threw it in front. McClellan put it in.
There's Reichel, number 26, 19 years young.
It must have been quite a Czechoslovakian junior team when you think of Reichel and Jaeger and Balik, all doing well in the National League.
Tremendous talent. Now Makarov tapped it back into the center ice area. Neuendijk is chasing it there against Chambers. Neuendijk got at it, but Chambers jammed him out of the play. However, Calgary taking over possession with Makarov. He's stripped of the puck, and it goes down the ice. And icing is called against Minnesota, and they don't mind dumping that puck. But there's a long way to go, 17.5 minutes to be precise.
Well, Minnesota have, in this rink anyway, have been very stingy with their goals against. Bob Gainey's been harping on them all year to do it. Gary Roberts, as you can see, leads the Flames in penalty minutes. They've had enough of those tonight. They need a goal or 2. Had quite a period, a second period was it last night, Eddie? They got 4 or 5 goals, so it's not out of the question here. They need another quick one to get inspired and to have the North Stars start doubting themselves a little bit.
Back to the line for McInnes. McInnes pinches in, tried to center, and his centering pass was partially blocked by Modano. Modano got it up quickly into the center ice area. Here's Kropp, put it out in front for Gagne to Modano, and the goaltender Vernon read that well. Dangerous attack by that high-scoring line for Minnesota. Giles goes back into center. He takes a golf shot that goes way up into the crowd. That play is stopped.
I like your company. Such a comfortable place to be.
Carson's been sitting there all year with a smile on her face as her team's up 6-3.
She's a dummy. I mean that literally. A hot-air doll.
They make them all sizes and shapes here in the Twin Cities.
Oh, Okay, back into the center ice area. We're nearing the 3-minute mark. Period number 3. Ed Whalen with Harry Neal and Grant Pollock. Met Center in Bloomington. 6-3, Minnesota leading Calgary. Puck is taken by Dahlquist, who dropped it to Tenorti, his defense partner, and then gets the return pass. Up very quickly for Bureau, one-man back. Bureau, the drop pass. He got the blind pass behind the back and just missed Gavin. It was a close call. Long lead pass. Bureau is sent sprawling. And then Fleury is knocked down. Fleury may be hurt behind the play. Play is stopped.
Fleury and Gaetan Duchesne collided, and the fastest man in the Flames tonight is Bearcat Murray as he races out to see how Theron Fleury's feeling. Number 10 for the North Stars, Duchesne and Fleury collided on the way behind the net. Here it is right here. Fleury takes a shot at him. Oh, and there's exactly what happened. Gaetan Duchesne heard him coming and gave him a left elbow right in the chops. Here's another angle of it. Oh, there's the penalty that the fans thought should have been called. Bureau dove too enthusiastically, and there's the elbow. Kind of like a clothesline in football, right under the mask of Theron Fleury.
The Canucks are once again 1 point behind the Jets. The Canucks win, and the Jets win. So it's 1 point in that fight for fourth in the Smythe Head.
Now Buffalo in huge trouble in front of their hometown fans, losing to, of all people, with the kind of promise that Sabres had to Vancouver. Now what's going on here?
There's a penalty involved here. I don't know who's going to get it. The referee went over to the penalty box and made a report, and the North Star players swarmed around him complaining. Stuart Gavin, one of the alternate captains, is now getting a description. The penalty box door on the North Star side is open, but we have no idea who Mr. Trottier is sentencing.
Well, we didn't see him fingering Duchesne.
No, there wasn't a penalty called on Fleury. The replay we showed you, that was not the penalty that was called.
It's not been posted on the board as yet. Minnesota's not sending anyone to the box. And there seems to be a failure here to communicate because there's still 5 North Stars on the ice. The penalty box door remains open.
Looks like it's going to be Bureau. He lost the flip. He's going to go. But I can't tell you what the penalty's for.
2 minutes for delay of game.
Boy, I don't... unless they just wouldn't go in on the face-off circle. I didn't see it, Ed. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. It's got me, but it's Bureau serving a delay of game penalty.
Mike Modano is going in. Bureau started over, but came back to the bench. So the Flames get a little bit of a bonus chance here to get back in the game with another power play opportunity. 16:32 to go, 6-3 North Stars.
McClellan capitalized on the last opportunity. Now Calgary with another chance. But there's a chase up the ice, and Jim Johnson goes back. Rattles it off the boards. And McGinnis will start. Calgary desperately in need another goal. Up the boards. The pass got away from the intended recipient. Wilson down the ice. And the Flames are called for icing. From your Molson Hockey Telecast.
Wouldn't it be nice if you had everything you need right when you needed it? That's the thinking behind it.
Note here, Gary gambles the baby's savings on a sure thing on Sons and Daughters at a special time immediately following tonight's Flames telecast on 2 and 7. 1:37 left on the penalty. The crowd trying to roar support for their beloved North Stars. McInnes has the puck. Puts it on the other side. Perry Berezan is out there. He scored a shorthanded goal tonight, his third shorthanded effort of the season. McGinnis losing control. Puck comes out to Duchesne, cuts in, shoots, and it was stopped, and there's going to be a cross-checking call here. Calgary losing the power play now. And Gary Suter headed to the penalty box. You're watching the Flames on 2 and 7.
What happened to him here? His front end got realigned the wrong way, and this is, he finally just batted it down the ice, but there's Gaetan Duchesne 10, who's got a little bit of a breakaway and tries to bring it all the way across. Gary Suter cross-checks him and gets the penalty to take the power play away, but maybe saved a goal.
Here's Gilmore, through to Fleury, the shot, and he just deflected it over top the net. Close call. Beautifully engineered by Gilmore. Vernon starts McInnes off in the corner. Lots of open ice now. Fleury in front of the fence, leaves it there for Gilmore. Nice move, the shot. Hayward falls, but knocked the puck down. Gilmore gets wrapped up behind the play. This is Gagne going in with prop. Gagne stops, tries to center. He's hit by Fleury. Musil turns now. Both clubs still with 4 skaters. Musil at center, the shot, and it deflects into the crowd.
Well, of course, this is the time of the year that the scouts are taking their last look at players, especially here in the United States as the high school season's ending. And of course, they want to find out as much as they can, not only about their hockey talents, but what kind of a personality they got. And here in Minnesota, they ran a battery of tests on some of these prospects. And one of the questions was, would you spell this Mississippi? And
Yeah.
the kid says, do you want the state or the river? So he's off the North Star list, as you can imagine.
Ah, gosh. He's not a nuclear physicist on weekends, right? Okay, Bureau bumps it into the Calgary zone. In 15 seconds, Minnesota will have the man advantage. To the corner, Gavin taken out of the play. Reichel starts back for Calgary. He's knocked flying. Pass comes to McCowan. Gets it over for Makarov. Makarov going behind the net, stops. Tried to feed the point. There was nobody home. And now Minnesota with a man advantage. Crowd is upset because Modano was dumped and nothing happened. Here's Reichel, one man back. Reichel over the line, trying to move in. And he was being harassed by Bellows, who played it very well. Only a forward was back, not even a defenseman. Makarov up ahead, over the line for Natras, trying to work his way out front, falls over the goaltender, and the puck is knocked loose. Great action here in the third period. Back comes Gagne to the corner for Bellows. It misses Gagne, who's hit with a hip check. Puck is back into the center ice area. 6-3 the score, Minnesota leading Calgary. And we have played nearly 7 minutes of the third period. Calgary looking to get back in it. Here's Neuendijk. Neuendijk moving his way around, gets it right out in front. They jam at it. The puck is loose. A great chance, but Bureau comes out with it. Now it's Kevin Guy. Calgary putting on the pressure, has had 2 great scoring chances in the past 2 or 3 minutes of play, but can't put it away. Johnson off the boards, intercepted by Suter. Gets it on the other side. Here's Kevin Guy. Guy takes the long drive, goes to the corner. Fenton along the boards. Neuendijk trying to get it to Fenton. A stick goes flying. That belonged to Johnson. And it's back up into center. Good pressure here by Calgary. Guy to Suter. Up ahead to Roberts. Roberts trying to move in. Gilmore going in along the boards. And play is stopped because the net has come off the magnets.
Well, on that last attempt by Calgary to score, of the 10 skaters on the ice, 8 of them were in the goal crease, along with Brian Hayward. So if you've ever wondered why they make the crease, they've made the crease bigger with that circular one, it certainly isn't to protect the goalies. They're getting mowed down in spectacular fashion. It's to allow more players to get in the crease. And I think we might have had an NHL record on that last chance as everybody on the Calgary team. But before that, Rick Natras poured in off the left wing and tried to beat Hayward, but he was being harassed by number 6, Glenn, right here, and he kind of trips him. Hayward's playing the poke check, and Natras is in foreign territory. And then before he could get up, everybody took a run at trying to find the puck in the goal crease.
Calgary with Fleury. He takes the shot. That was deflected. It's out of play. Calgary's come out gunning. They've outshot their opponent 6-2 in this portion of the third period.
Well, they certainly don't want to sit on a 6-3 deficit. They ought to be rushing 5 guys every time in hopes that they can get the North Stars back on their heels and maybe get a goal. And here's what this Darren Fleury's done. I mean, since the All-Star break, he's 4th in the National League scoring race with 23 goals, 16 assists, 39 points coming into tonight's game. 3 shorthanded goals last night in St. Louis. He's the emotional leader of the Flames. We all know that. Now he's the new leader in goals, points, and shorthanded goals. What a February. 14 points, went from +23 to +40, 2 hat tricks, 1 penalty shot goal. The only thing he's not doing for the Flames is driving the Zamboni between periods.
Can't get up on the seat. Oh, what a year he's having. He's at 91 points now.
He's going to get 50 goals in. Pretty good for a guy who's too small to play in the league, everyone thought.
Amazing spirit. All right. Doug Smale, the former Winnipeg Jet, coming in with Berezan. He gets it over to Tenorti. Tenorti going to the corner. He's being watched. He scores! Impossible angle! And it's in the net.
Mike Vernon missed that badly. And this Tenorti, I can't get over this guy. He's rushing, he's blocking shots, he's hitting guys. He's playing about 35 minutes. And the North Stars, who do not have an offensively skilled defense crew, get their defensemen involved in every rush. And Vernon, I'm sure, was playing the pass, and the shot fooled him. But to give you an example, the top 3 defense scorers for the North Stars have 51 points. The top 3 defensemen in scoring for the Calgary Flames have 168 points, and yet all night tonight, we've seen the North Star defensemen in on the rush, jumping off the point. Tenorti scores, Glenn scores. And the non-offensive defense corps has made the offensive defense corps look pretty ordinary tonight. And Mike Vernon made an awful play on that one. And they're changing the goaltenders here. Vernon comes out and Walmsley goes in.
This is unusual. I have seen Vernon suffer in some games before and stay in, primarily in a 10-8 job with Quebec. But Walmsley is coming in at 7:41.
Well, maybe Doug Risberg is thinking to himself, I'm going to play Walmsley in the next game. It's Philadelphia, is it, Tuesday night?
No, Winnipeg.
Or Winnipeg, sorry, Tuesday night. And he didn't play last night, so here's a chance to give him 13 minutes of action that might make him feel a little bit better when he gets into action in Calgary.
7-3, Minnesota leading. Gilmore cutting in front, put it across. Oh, what a chance there for Fenton. And he was stopped, but there's a penalty, a cross-checking call. This coming up against Minnesota.
Gets a 2-on-1 right here with Makarov, and how he missed it, I don't know. He thought he could get between the legs of the goaltender, but he couldn't, and he took a cross-check from Basil McRae. Look, he's got quite a shiner there, so there was one good punch landed, as we can see in that fight that took place right at the end of the second period. So Stern left his mark on the eye of Basil McRae. 7-3 Minnesota.
Now McRae gone for 2 minutes. That occurring at the 8:03 mark. Minnesota, unbeaten at 10 at home, has looked ever so confident after the opening period.
The team record is 11 in 1982, so they got a good chance of beating that one tonight, or tying it.
Musil has control. Gets back to the line. McKenna's shot is deflected over top. Makarov along the boards. Comes to McClellan behind the net. McClellan scrapping for it there. He's really working. He's lost his stick. He kicks it out. Intended for Makarov. Makarov trying to hold it along the boards against Duchesne. Puck is fished free. Gilmore was sent flying. Comes back to the line for McInnes. Over to Musil. Musil fires to the other side. Makarov will chase it there. Try to center. And his pass went astray. Now with 1 minute and 5 seconds left on the penalty, Fleury on the ice. Flipped it up ahead to Reichel. Reichel going to the other side. The pass missed. And McInnes had to go back. Now Fleury turning. Long lead pass. Beautiful pass to just bounced off the stick of Joe Nieuwendyk. Goes along the boards. Fleury is after it there. There's a bit of a scrum. Knocked to the line, but not across. Behind the net now for Giles. Giles trying to clear. Comes up to the line. He starts off an attack, and then it's backhanded by Broughton down the ice. Here's Reichel, left side. Over to Nieuwendyk. Couldn't handle the pass, and it's down the ice.
Twice in this shift, Joe Nieuwendyk has fumbled a pass that was right on the tape. Once he would have been in the clear. And he doesn't very often make that kind of a mistake. He's usually got soft hands.
Now it's Bureau. Bureau getting it back into center. 5 seconds left on the penalty, and Minnesota's killed very well as Tenorti fires it off Fleury and down the ice. Minnesota back to full strength. Calgary going to the attack. It's Matteau. Matteau chasing it. He lost control of the puck. Up into the center ice area now very quickly. Here's McRae. Tried the shot. That was blocked by McCowan. McRae goes to the corner again. McCowan stopped him. And a loose puck in the center ice area. We're past the 10-minute mark. This is period number 3. Minnesota North Stars are leading the Calgary Flames 7-3. McRae turns around. Got it out in front. Loose puck. And it was knocked to the corner. Chambers holds it in. Tenorti trying to chop it through. Can't do so. Comes back to the line. The shot from there. And that's just blasted wide. Calgary now in desperation. And the puck is knocked down the ice. And there's something going on in front of the Calgary goal.
Looks like Jamie McCowan and Basil McRae. Now it's Basil McRae and Stefan Matteau. They were fighting for territory there. When the puck went to the point, when it went out of the zone and they all started to leave, this started.
Gets the winner. Bondra, the insurance goal. Caps beat the Oilers 5-3. Just a reminder, the Flames are playing 3 games in 5 nights, and all 3 are on channels 2 and 7. After tonight, it's the Jets and the Islanders on Tuesday and Thursday. It's a triple header week here on 2 and 7.
Big win for Washington as they pull even with New Jersey, but there's something still going on near the penalty box here.
Once Basil McRae's in there, he better not come out or it'll cost him 10 games. You can't come off the bench or out of the penalty box, or you will get the severe sentence.
Gilmore was being held back. I can't imagine him wanting to take on McRae. But Gilmore is far from...
Gilmore better be careful pushing the linesman. On the way to the bench, Gilmore gave Gordy Crossiger a little shove. You can't do that, or you'll be having an appointment with Judge Wapner of the National League, Brian O'Neill. I don't think Doug Reisberg's enjoyed this game very much tonight. His team has played so well so often lately, and yet tonight certainly is not an indication of the kind of play they've come up with for the most part in the last 6 weeks.
Well, they're playing Happy Trails to you as sort of a salute to the Flames leaving here. Okay, they're sorting it out. We'll get the verdict in a moment. Well, he looks relaxed, Harry.
He's tired. Well, here's how it all started. The puck's well out of the zone. And you can see that Natras and McRae begin, and then in comes McCowan. And then in comes Matto. Gilmore got 10 minutes.
The North Stars, number 17, Basil McRae, 2 minutes for roughing.
Well, a couple of minors that are offsetting. Here's a program note. Tomorrow night at 8, Steven Seagal stars in the world television premiere of the action thriller Above the Law, right after Who's the Boss and Alf, Monday on 2 and 7.
Well, there were a few people above the law right there, and they now are going to sit in the penalty box. Doug Gilmore got 10 minutes, either for trying to incite some more trouble with McRae in the penalty box or manhandling Brossiker a little bit.
There's a giveaway. Broughton plays it to the corner. Suter playing it rough along the boards. Puck is frozen for the moment. They're still battling. Dahlin trying to get it out in front. Comes back to the line. Held in. And now Calgary with a 3-on-2. Neuendijk tried to leave the trailer for Roberts. He missed him. Bellows is stopped by Neuendijk. Neuendijk with the puck. Clears it into the Minnesota zone. 7-3. The Minnesota North Stars leading the Calgary Flames. 8 minutes left. Period number 3. And the Flames, as Grant Pollock has told you, now are 2 points behind the Los Angeles Kings, who tied in Montreal tonight. Too many men on the ice for Minnesota, apparently, is the call.
The referee called it. Usually the linesman call it, but the referee, Trottier, was on the other side of the rink from the bench looking right at the play and the number of white shirts that came on, and he quickly got up to 6 skaters and blew his whistle. 7:57 to go. The Flames will get another power play opportunity, but the special teams of the North Stars has been the difference. 3 power play goals and 1 shorthanded goal. That's the 4-goal difference that you're looking at in the scoreboard.
2 men on the ice.
Well, there's the problem. There's no doubt about that one, Ed.
No, there isn't.
Now, that's a power play. Unfortunately, it's illegal.
By the way, I should remind you that beautiful story about the Townsend Tigers. I'd remind you that the Heart of the City Calgary Flames bandanas are selling at $3 each at Husky stations, supporting the Children's Miracle Network telethon on 2 and 7, with the funds from that telethon going directly to the Alberta Children's Hospital. An opportunity to support both the Flames and the kids. McClellan trying to finesse his way through, couldn't get through with the puck. And it's down the ice. 1 minute, 40 seconds left on the penalty. The bench minor being served by Modano. Long pass for Suter. Suter cutting in. Put it right out in front. The shot, and somehow it didn't get through. It was deflected. Reichel got it back to the line. Held in. McKenna's shot deflected at the side of the net. Reichel after the puck again. Back to Suter. Over to McKinnis. Suter with the puck. Suter dumping it out in front. That was knocked down easily. Loose puck in the slot area, and it's backhanded by Bureau down the ice. 1 minute left in the minor to Minnesota. 7-3. Minnesota leading Calgary. Wilson hustling for the puck. Otto also is there. And Minnesota comes out with it. Now quickly on the right side. That's Chambers, number 26. Couldn't get the puck through. And Doug Smale was parked right in front of the net. 30 seconds left on the penalty. Calgary having all sorts of problems tonight. Makarov put it to the wing. Held in by Wilson. Makarov goes to the corner. Makarov being challenged by Dahlquist. Puck comes out, and here's Duchesne up in the center ice, going in with Berezan. Duchesne got the back pass there. Chambers back to Duchesne along the boards. That's Perry Berezan, rather. Now back to full strength. Modano's shot as he just came out of the penalty box and shot it high and wide. Gagne flips it towards the net, just wide. And Roberts in his own zone will start off for Calgary. Up ahead, Neuendijk. Neuendijk got it on the far side. That's Reichel. Roberts behind the net, rolled it across the goal mouth. Suter fished for it, got it to Roberts. Neuendijk is there. Neuendijk's back to the line. It's just deflected wide by Suter on the shot by Reichel. Just over 5 minutes remaining now in the third period. Minnesota tattooing the Flames by a 7-3 score thus far in this one, thanks to a 4-goal outburst in the second period. But we've got another tussle going in mid-ice.
Well, Roberts got upset with the treatment Brian Propp was giving him and gave him a little massage with his stick, gloves, and elbow, and then Dave Gagne came running in. Now here it is. Here you can see Propp's got him hooked, and then shoves him out of the way, and Roberts has had enough. By now, as he's taking the stick out of his stomach and trying to get the mask off Propp without undoing the helmet. Back in the league, and they'll be lucky if they can find a guy that can play like Joe Malone. Completed this feat on March the 10th in 1920.
And here it's 7-3. Minnesota still with aspirations to overhaul Detroit, but Detroit won tonight. I don't think they can catch them. But as Harry Neal says, they could be a handful in the playoffs. They've really come on since the All-Star break. Here's Tenorti. Tenorti watched by Fleury. Got it to Bellows. Calgary sending a couple of men in to forecheck. Now over the line as Roberts is in the penalty box, comes back to the corner across the goal mouth. Tenorti holds it in. Side of the net, tapped away by Wamsley, who came on in relief in this period. Modano, top of the circle. He's got a shot. Gets the return pass from Tenorti, side of the net. Shoveled on out in front, stripped away, comes back to Modano, put it at the side, and he just missed Broughton on the setup. Had the right idea. The pass didn't quite click. Broughton is elbowed off the puck, and now Calgary breaking away 2-on-1. There's the shot by Matteau. Rebound by Musil. Just wide. Fleury just missed it up front. Now Calgary making a change. Natras is the only man back. There's Propp. Great save. Great save by Wamsley as Propp was set up beautifully. Gambling, although they're down the man with Roberts in the penalty box. 35 seconds remaining on the penalty. Chambers put it across in front. It was McCowan who received the pass and cleared it to safety. McCowan then puts it up in the air, comes back to the line, held in, however.
Natras got hurt, Ed, on that last one. He's holding his left arm or shoulder. He played the rest of the shift and then came off, but he's in a fair amount of pain at the Calgary bench right now. There he is there, sitting down.
Now Minnesota, as Calgary is back to full strength. Puck is at the side of the net. Oh, what a close call as Ulf Dolan cut in and then was cut down.
Well, Dolan had 3 goals and 2 assists yesterday afternoon against Detroit, and Wednesday night when they beat the Oilers 5-1, he was the first star. We haven't seen a lot of him tonight, but he gave you a little example of his talent right there as he walked around Jamie McCowan and nearly scored to make it 8-3. Here it is right here. Here's the finish of it. He doesn't look like a strong guy, but he really is. He finally gets knocked flying, but not after he gets a pretty good chance. Puck's in the feet of Rick Walmsley, and he covers up before any damage can be done.
We invite you to remain viewing at the end of the game for the Molson Cup 3 Stars. And in addition to that, I'm sure you'll want to catch the Canadian Airlines play of the game. They're happy here.
Well, here's something new. Cheerleaders at a National Hockey League game with so few fans showing up for the Minnesota North Stars. These cheerleaders decided they're going to call their cheers in if more people don't come to the game.
2:54 remaining, third period. It's back there, the shot, rebound, and what a save by Walmsley of Basil McCray, who had him at his mercy.
Well,
Walmsley, sharp.
He's made about 3 spectacular stops, and he looks like he's auditioning to play the next game. That's for sure the way. Here it is right here. Good stop there, and then all set for the rebound as Basil McCray nearly comes in to score his first goal of the season.
Gary Suter works his way into center at the line, leaves it there. McClellan's shot drifted wide. McClellan side of the net. Hayward had hugged the post. And Berezan taps it down into the Calgary zone. Well, there's no doubt Minnesota's won this thing. Here's Makarov. He hasn't done much tonight. Puck comes back to the line. It's held in. Now Minnesota going to the attack. McCray, who's getting a lot of ice time. He's a rough, tough hombre. And it's straight back into the Calgary zone. Taking off is Kevin Guy. Gets it on the right side now. Makarov trying to set it up. Benton shot. And he just drove that one wide. Mark Bureau getting a fair amount of ice time for Minnesota, and this is first start. Coming, of course, from Salt Lake City Golden Eagles. Flames Farm Club in a trade. Musil steps around to check. Fed it to Otto. Otto couldn't hang on. Gary Wilson, who's come out on the ice, put the puck to the corner. And we have 1.5 minutes remaining in the third period now. Minnesota up by 4. Stu Gavin. Musil stops him. Gaetan Duchesne gets it back to Gavin. Gavin behind the net, battling for possession against Wilson. Duchesne looking strong. He's a fire plug, 5'11", a couple of 100 pounds. Built squat and hefty. Back with the final minute of play. McClellan cutting to the right side. Reichel taps it behind the net. Chambers plays it to the corner. Duchesne against Reichel. It's kicked loose, and it's taken by Bureau. Bureau up into the center ice area for Chambers. The long shot kicked out of there. And Calgary returning to the attack with just seconds remaining. Along the boards, the pass coming out to McClellan. McClellan turning behind the net, got it out in front. Suter with a great chance, but he missed the net. 24 seconds left. Suter takes the shot from the tough angle, but it had really nothing on it.
Well, you know, you hate to say that anything good can come out of a 7-3 shellacking, but when so many of the players for the Flames are having an inferior performance, any coach will tell you that it's far better for all of them to have a bad night the one night and lose the game and get on with it than to have 2 or 3 of them play poorly each night. And tonight is anything but the kind of hockey that the Flames have played against the North Stars over the years, as you can see by that graphic, or have played since the All-Star break. But these kind of games happen every once in a while. They can't be explained, they can't be condoned, and they're unpleasant to watch. And maybe Risberg should have his players watch this game when they get home tomorrow, in case they've forgotten how poorly they've played.
Well, Calgary's certainly been hot, but one of those nights. 8 seconds remaining. A jam up in the corner. Otto trying to get it out in front. Couldn't do so. And the game is over.
Well, the Minnesota North Stars are now 2 games over 500 at home here. It's so they got off to a dreadful start, but you can see since January 16th what they've done here at the Met Center. It never ceases to amaze me with the kind of hockey they've played and that record, why so few people come to the games. But the poison that's in the fans' minds around here about the North Stars is pretty concentrated. Here's what the rest of the season looks like, or almost the rest of the season for these teams, or for Calgary and LA, who are going to battle down. And Ed, I don't think there's any question about the fact that those 3 games between the two teams will decide who gets first in the Smythe division.
And so the final score is Minnesota 7, Calgary 3. In a moment, our Molson Cup 3-star selection.
Tonight's Molson Cup 3 stars. 2 of the 3 are former Calgary Flames. The first star is a former Calgary Wrangler, Mark Tenorti, the defenseman for the Stars. He is the first star. He had a 3-point night. The second star, defenseman Brian Glynn, 1 goal and played a strong game on the blue line for the Stars. And the third star, Perry Berezan, hit 1 goal on a breakaway while shorthanded. So the Molson Cup overall standings for the Flames do not change. Theron Fleury with a 40-point lead over Joe Noondike and Doug Gilmore. That is unchanged after tonight's game. Once again, the final score, Flames lose to the Stars 7-3. Our Molson Fleury scores his 45th, ties it at 2 after 1. The second period really did the Flames in. Mike Modano, Gaetan Duchesne give the Stars a 4-2 lead. Then Perry Berezan scores his 10th, a shorthanded goal. Brian Glynn gets a power play goal to make it 6-2 after 2. 2 goals in the third, 1 by each team. Brian McClellan, the former Star, gets his 13th to make it 6-3. But then Mark Tenorti scores his 4th on the season to round out the scoring 7-3, the Stars over the Flames. And it's the former Flame night. We had Perry Berezan earlier and Brian Glynn, the second star. A great game. I was talking to Brian Hayward after your loss in Calgary 5-1 a week ago, and he said that was the Stars' worst game in recent weeks. Would you agree tonight might be one of your better performances in many times?
I think so. You go back to the game we played in Calgary. We played a pretty solid game up in Edmonton the night before. We come into Calgary, we were flat, and they sort of walked all over us. So we had that in our minds tonight, that the 2 games that we had played with them this season, we hadn't played all that well, and we just put it in our minds that we were going to show them what our team really looks like, and we went out and did that tonight.
You sure did. And how has the power play been going? You scored in the power play tonight. We'll see that goal. How has the power play gone for the Stars in recent weeks?
I think lately, since the All-Star break, the power plays really started to catch fire, as has the penalty killing.
Describe your goal here. You're at the blue line and moved in?
Yeah, it was just a play. Ulf Dullen carried the puck up around the corner, and I sort of snuck down through, and he was able to throw a great pass through a couple sets of skates and right onto my stick, and I was able to put it by Mike Vernon. And it was just one of those things. It was a great pass, and I don't think Mike Vernon had a lot of chance on it.
Brian, Harry Neal, our analyst tonight, mentioned that the no-name North Star defense is playing very well. Are you a no-name defense group?
Well, I wouldn't call it a no-name group, basically because I am one, but we're young. We're some young players back there, and lately we've really started to play well. We've been cutting down on the goals against, and as you can see all across the league, the teams with the better goals against are the teams that are winning a lot of hockey games and putting a lot of points on the board. So it's just something that we've concentrated on as a team, and being so young, we all work pretty well together, and things are going well right now, and hopefully they'll continue to go that way.
A lot of ex-Flames on this team, so it's kind of nice to make you feel at home. You know some of the players. Mark Bureau playing his first tonight, a former teammate at Salt Lake, and the Flames with you.
Well, yeah, there's 4 of us, 4 players, Shane Churla, Perry Berezan, Mark Bureau, and myself, and of course Norm Green, our owner. He'll be excited that we were able to win tonight. It's always nice when we can do that, but maybe a little added incentive for the 4 guys who played. Well, 3 of us played in the game tonight, and Perry had a goal, Mark had a couple assists, and I had a goal, so things just went well for us. We got the bounces, and we'll take the 2 points.
And great seeing you again, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, Brian Glynn, he and the Stars beat the Flames handedly tonight, 7-3, the final score. Our post-game show continues from the Met Center. Gas. Natural gas, the best flame in town for heating, cooking, and barbecuing. Kings and Canadians tie at 4 at the Forum in Montreal. Nick Kyprios gets the game-winning goal in the third. Oilers lose the Capitals 5-3. Penguins over the Islanders 4-3. Mark Recchi gets the game winner, his 37th. Two teams fighting for a playoff position, Jersey and the Jets. The Jets win. Olchek has 22 goals on the season. The Jets fail to gain on last place Vancouver because the Canucks win in Buffalo 7-5. Sergio Momesso gets his first 2 goals as a Canuck. Joe Sakic's 39th is the game winner in the third. Quebec over Hartford 2-1. And it's still going on at the stadium in Chicago. The Hawks lead 3-2. We can now update that for you now. The Hawks have scored. It is 4-2, the Hawks over the Rangers. The Blues lose their second straight at home, 3-1 for the Wings. A 3-point game for Garpenlov and Eisbart. Goal number 77 for Brett Hull. And at the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, the Stars over the Flames, 7-3. Tonight,
Just as the songs endure, the men who grace the one remaining space on this cup will live forever. Beginning this evening, the Montreal Canadiens take aim at a 23rd NHL championship. At New York, the Rangers set out to quench a title thirst which has lingered for 51 years. Then on Thursday, the Great One leads a campaign to reign in Southern California, while the game's most revered goal scorer, Brett Hull, sets his sights in St. Louis. 16 teams, 16 wins required with a 2-month time limit. Tonight, the quest for the Stanley Cup as the tradition continues. Offense, and especially find a way to get at Grant Fuhr, and they hope reuniting the #1 line tonight will do it. That's the big story here. Obviously, it never pains in Southern California. For Thomas Sandstrom will be in uniform for Los Angeles tonight. That's how he looked this morning as he tested out that right knee with a broken bone in it. He skated as well a half an hour ago here at the Forum, and as you look at the upcoming shot, pay attention to Thomas's right leg, and you can see the extra padding there to afford some protection. I spoke to Sandstrom about the condition of his injured knee.
Well, I think, right now it feels really good, though, and I think it surprises me and the doctors, too, but I just had a small fracture, and the way it came out in the newspaper that I had a broken leg, that was kind of, the whole thing screwed up. It's just a small fracture in my leg, and it's nothing to worry about.
Will you wear a special protective brace in the game?
Well, I'm going to wear a brace, but I don't really have to wear it either, but I'm just going to do it for protection, and the way things have been going in this series, you might as well use it.
That's one tough Swede, Don. That line accounted for 116 of the 340 regular season goals scored by the Kings, so I'm sure you view him as a key.
Well, I'll tell you that this is the old 3-1 job with Edmonton. Edmonton always has the thing of letting guys off the hook. Now, you're asking me about tonight's game. L.A. is desperate. It's the old desperate time for them. It's through. How many times I said this? Same thing with Calgary, remember? I think they'll be desperate. They're going to play the game of their life right now. Edmonton's got that thing again. I've said it before. They know they can go back to Edmonton and play back there. They won't be up quite as they should be. I'm predicting an LA win. But again, I say the fly in the ointment here is Fuhr. He could win this game all by himself. They will not be up as quite as much as they should be. Watch.
Nobody in hockey ever puts a whole lot of stock in morning skates, but you were here today and watched the Oilers. They sure look like they're ready, and the Los Angeles Kings skated for the first time in the playoffs on the day of a game.
Yeah, well, they want to try something different. Maybe they thought they should have had. They were out here. I'm sure he had the meeting, said, boys, if we don't win this one, it's all over. But I'm going to tell you something. If you go by morning skate, I've never seen a better morning skate for Edmonton in my life. I mean, they were loose and goose and firing that puck. Their goalies, I don't know how they take it. Billy Ranford, I'll tell you something, folks, if you're ever get hurt, I'm telling you right now, Billy Ranford will be ready.
And tell me this about the LA Kings, using Sandstrom. Have you ever had a situation where a player comes in and you have to spot him, or will they go with him?
Well, they got to go with him. It's the sense of having him. I had Brad Park, and we took and froze his shoulder. Here they come now. We froze his shoulder. What the heck's getting it frozen? What's the heck's addressing him? Start him in the bloody game. Let him go. That's what he's there for.
The Oilers are coming out now, as you see, here in Inglewood, and the Los Angeles Kings are about to do the same as we get set for Game 5 of the Smythe Final. For their pregame comments, let's go now to our announcers, Don Whitman and Harry Neal.
Thanks, Ron. Hi, everybody. Thomas Sandstrom's return, Harry, undoubtedly will provide the Kings with a psychological boost, but he hopes to do more than that.
Well, there's no doubt about the fact that the Kings have been inspired by the return of Sandstrom, especially Wayne Gretzky, who hasn't had any of those big nights so far in the playoffs. Whether he can play as often or as well as he did before this injury really makes me wonder. But the big boy's enthused about it, and if the Kings are going to avoid elimination, 99 has to have the best game he's had this playoff.
But number 99 and Thomas Sandstrom, as we see Kelly Rudy on the ice surface getting set for this game, will have to solve the goaltender at the other end, Grant Fuhr.
Well, Grant Fuhr's been the biggest obstacle in the way of the LA Kings. He's been as good as I've ever seen him play. I think the Kings have got to get some traffic in front of him. They may even resort to running a couple of guys through the crease and knocking him down, but they can't let this great athlete have a look at all the shots the way they have in the first 4 games.
The Los Angeles Kings facing elimination tonight. They'll battle to stay alive in Game 5, coming up next on Hockey Night in Canada.
For Newfoundland, as it sets here in California, and we get set for Game 5, the Oilers and the Kings. The other game ongoing tonight is at the arena in St. Louis. The Minnesota North Stars leading that series 3-1 and having struck early in all games except for this one. Rod Brind'Amour scores in the 2nd minute of the game to give St. Louis a 1-0 lead. They extend that lead in the 2nd period. Paul Cavallini from the top of the circle beats John Casey. Tuttle and Quinn drawing assists on that, and Brind'Amour and Tuttle helping out on this goal as Dan Quinn extends the lead to 3-0, and that's where it stands now in St. Louis. The Blues leading the North Stars, trying to force a 6th game at the Met Center in Bloomington. Here we're in Los Angeles for Game 5 between the Oilers and the Kings. Talking about that morning skate, we had a chance to chat with John Muckler, and the thing he fears most is the thing he ought to, having been around Wayne Gretzky as long as he has. He says Wayne's due to have a big game. He's really been kept in check either through injury or because of Esa Tikkanen in this series. He hasn't scored a goal. Neither is Tony Granato, and their replacement Ilkka Sinisalo going on the line for Sandstrom hasn't scored. Now, of course, Thomas will be reunited with those two. As I say, they accounted for 1/3 of the scoring for the LA Kings during the regular season, and they were a big part of their success against the Vancouver Canucks in the opening round. As for the Oilers, they like their chances with Fuhr and the way he's been playing in goal. Now, let's go ringside for America. Will not take place tonight.
Well, you know, in games where in the past where if they were eliminated if they lost, the Kings' record is 8-15. So they better play a little better than they've played in the past, or there'll be history in about 3 hours.
On the ice now, the key line in the playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers. That is the Semenoff, Jelena, Graves line. They have been the most productive with 12 points. retire. Jones and Donnelly are out there for Los Angeles. The Kings fail to get it out of their zone. Semenoff in the corner is checked. Looks around the boards and fired down the ice as Brad Jones opted to take the icing call to relieve the early pressure.
Well, let's have a look and see who's not playing tonight. The LA Kings have made 2 changes. Out comes Bukestad and Sinisalo. In goes Miller and, of course, Sandstrom. Padelski, Burrow, Laidlaw, and Busquets are finished for the whole playoff. For the Edmonton Oilers, they're going with the same lineup that they've gone with in the last 3 games. And John Muckler was telling me that they fear the first 10 or 12 minutes here at the Forum. They think that LA is going to come out and shoot the big fireworks to see if they can get a lead.
Messier with Simpson and Anderson. It's the Alec, Robitaille, Taylor line. Mark Messier has struggled. As a matter of fact, some have been critical of his play through the first 4 games in this series.
Well, I think that he's a little more hurt than anyone knows. We know he's got a bad thumb and a bad knee, and now the word is he's got a bit of a bad back. So as the playoffs wear along, I think you'll see Messier come to life.
Simpson with a shot that is blocked. He gets it again. Another shot. That went past the net, and Messier tried to work out from the corner. He was checked. The puck is loose. Anderson looking out front for Muni. Knocked away from him. Simpson keeps it in the zone. Simpson for Anderson. He tried to deflect it over to Messier. It comes back to the line, and away go the Kings, led by Dave Taylor. Their first drive into Edmonton territory in the hockey game, but they don't have any success as the puck comes out to center ice. Taylor will try again. Slipping it through for Alec, and it's offside as Alec bumps in the corner. The fans reacting with Craig Muni out on the ice, and he and Alec were bumping in the corner. Of course, it was Craig Muni with those 2 hits on Sandstrom and Padelski that put them out in Game 2.
Well, the LA Kings look to me like they have to score, by the looks of this stat, 4 goals a game if they're going to win, because look at their record when they score 3 or less. So a little more offense is what Tom Webster has ordered, and the fans are giving Thomas Sandstrom a standing ovation now for his quick return from what one time looked like a season-ending injury.
Well, I think his return is a credit to the medical staff, but there is a rumor as well that on Bruce McNall's private jet, he made a rather quick trip to Lourdes the other day.
He made a quick trip somewhere.
First shot of the hockey game by Duchesne on Grant Fuhr. That's steered to the corner. Klima trying to move out. Gets it ahead for Lamb. Back to Klima. Klima in across the line. Had difficulty controlling the puck. He was the overtime hero in Game 2, and it was offside. And back at the blue line, Thomas Sandstrom and Esa Tikkanen had an exchange of words.
Well, you can see Peter Klima has been one of the offensive stars for the Oilers in the playoff, and he certainly, I think, is the most dangerous guy on a one-on-one rush, and has the ability that very few in the league have, and that is to turn an ordinary scoring chance or even a low percentage scoring chance into a goal. If you're a defenseman and you play the puck with Peter Klima, you're going to be looking at his rear end quickly.
One of the keys, apart from the checking of Tikkanen on Gretzky, is that the Oilers have the same defensive pairing back on the blue line. They endeavor to get Muni and Lowe out there against the Gretzky line. Thomas Sandstrom starts away on the right side. Gretzky in across the line. He was spun around. It's offside. We're approaching the 2-minute mark of the opening period. It's still scoreless here at the Great Western Forum.
Rock and roll is okay, but I prefer rap.
Awesome. Wait a second. Shady Acres was supposed to get the Coke, and the frat house was supposed to get the Pepsi.
Coke, Pepsi, what's the difference?
I-24.
Pepsi, it's got what it takes.
This is radical.
And in section
Well, this year, the lone win for Edmonton here at the Great Western Forum, including regular season play, was in Game 2 of this Smythe Division Final. Yes.
You know, I'm a little surprised that the Wayne Gretzky and the coaching staff and Gretzky's teammates haven't done a little more to try and make it tougher for Tikkanen to do the job he wants to do on Gretzky. Nobody's run at Tikkanen. Gretzky, if you notice, has not been able to take any of his patent right side rink rushes and then make that stop and turn play or slide across the blue line. And you wonder how long you're just going to let it go and not try and do much about it.
Muni chases him down. Muni takes a hit. The fans react. Sandstrom trying to force the play in the Edmonton zone. It's dumped down the ice. Back for it is Marty McSorley. He gives it to Tim Waters. Back to Thomas Sandstrom. Long shot. In the corner where it's picked up by Lowe. Around the boards to Muni. Each time Craig Muni touches the puck and is bumped as he was there, the fans react. Craig McTavish dumps it into the corner. Semenoff after it, trying to get away from Benning. Benning moves it along the boards. McIver keeps it in. A long shot knocked down in front. McIver fanned on it as he tried to bang it at the point. Poked away by Blake, and Blake, as he came in across the line with a check, couldn't get a good shot away. 16:46 remaining in the opening period. Shot fired wide. Blake from the point lets it go. It doesn't get through. He gets it again. Centering attempt. Casper just failed to deflect it. Casper lost his helmet. Up in the center ice area, Benning intercepts. Rink wide pass knocked down by Jelena, then knocked into the Edmonton zone. McIver takes a hit from McIntyre in the corner. Another big hit by Donnelly as he stepped into Semenoff. Huddy moves the puck ahead on the wing. Jelena leaves it there for Graves. Graves taken in against the boards. Duchesne bumps with Jelena. The puck is in their skates, and it's picked up by the Kings. The Kings have been very physical, Harry, in the early going.
Well, they sure have. Cap Rader, the assistant coach, put together a film clip of the game the Kings won and how many takeouts they had in the first 10 minutes, and Game 4 and how few they had.
Here's Donnelly dropping it off for McIntyre. He goes to the corner. He takes a good hit there. Brad Jones ran into Jelena. The puck loose behind the net. Came to the side of the goal and was picked up by Edmonton. Graves with a long shot wide of the net. Larry Robinson along the boards trying to move out. He's tied up by Anderson. Puck bounces off a body, picked up by Messier. Messier back to Smith. It went off the heel of his stick wide of the net. It's dumped out of the zone and down the ice with Bukaboom going back after it. This will be an icing call against Los Angeles. 15-12 is the time.
Well, the fans here in L.A. haven't given up hope that their Kings going to prolong this series tonight with a win. And here are two hits, one by John McIntyre on McIver, and then on the same shift, not 15 seconds later, here's another McIntyre. We like that one so much we're going to show you. He's trying to get a seat for McIver on the Amtrak train out of here.
Sorley trying to tie up Simpson in the corner. It's loose to Todd Allen. Dave Taylor slides it out to center ice. Robitaille racing after it, but Bukaboom got there first to dump it back into the Los Angeles zone. Sorley whips it around the boards. Messier tried to play it back to the point, but it came out to center ice. Anderson took that pass, but it was offside at the Los Angeles line.
Well, the Oilers have a real opportunity tonight with the win to give themselves a 5 or a 6-day rest before they start the Campbell Conference Final. And the last 4 Stanley Cup winners, 3 of whom were the Oilers, got at least 5 days or more off between rounds 2 and rounds 3. And so when they played the Norris winner, Calgary and Edmonton, they were rested, some of their injuries healed, and don't forget, this team is trying to get over that rough series that went on before this one started.
Benning moves the puck in. He's checked along the boards, trying to pry it loose. The Oilers knock it out of the zone. Renato stepped into Craig Muni, And it's going to result in a penalty with 14:33 left in the period.
It's Muni. And perhaps that's why he gave him the elbow and jumped at him. You're not going to scare Muni. We know that for a fact. But Granato takes a penalty, and his team doesn't need to kill one off. The Edmonton power play, 2 for 25 on the road for a measly 8% in these playoffs, and 7 for 54 combined road and home. So their power play has not been a discourager of penalties on behalf of the Kings.
That's the 6th minor penalty in this series for Granato. The Kings wish that he had as many goals in this playoff round. Semenoff has certainly been producing the points for the Edmonton Oilers, and he is out there on the #1 power play unit.
Right, this is a change that John Muckler made in the 3rd period of Game 4, not starting the power play with Messier, Anderson, and Simpson. And these guys, he says, has earned the right to be the #1 unit, at least for a while.
Donnelly racing after it. Tikkanen's after him, and Tikkanen knocks him off the puck, and then he's hooked. Referee Maroelli was right there. There was no penalty call. Blake banks it off the boards and down the ice.
A very generous decision by Maroelli. The only thing that made it easy, Don, was that there was no scoring chance lost or gained by that hook.
Klima drives it in. Murphy races into the corner trying to pick it up. Semenoff comes in there as well. Semenoff along the boards. Comes back to the point. Tikkanen gets it across to Smith. To Semenoff! And his shot may have been deflected by Tim Waters. It went up high on the glass.
Well, a nice passing play to get the puck to a man who had a good chance to score. And Semenoff couldn't get the shot through. But those one-timers, any goalie will tell you, if they're on the net while you're moving across, they're tough to stop.
44 seconds remaining in the penalty to Granato. 13-14 left in this period. Messier has lost his stick. Gretzky flips it down the ice right on Grant Fuhr as he steers it to the corner. Tikkanen leads the way. Anderson shoots it in. Simpson racing in there. He's bumped by Blake. Larry Robinson tried to move it, but it was deflected and came back, fortunately for the Kings, out into the center ice area. Lead pass for Anderson. It's offside with 12:45 remaining in the period. 12 seconds in the penalty. And now with a Stanley Cup update, here's Ron.
Thank you, Don. At the arena in St. Louis, St. Louis extends its lead over Minnesota in the 3rd period on the 3rd goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs for Dave Tomlinson from Dan Quinn and Steve Tuttle. What a night that line's having. Tomlinson scores. The Blues look to make it bound for Bloomington as they lead handsomely on home ice.
Well, since being recalled, Paul McLean, who is the advanced scout for the St. Louis Blues and is covering this series, says Tomlinson has played well.
Said they had so few players in Peoria that they had 3 lines and 4 defensemen played the whole year, and the improvement in some of the young players like Tomlinson was phenomenal.
Messier gets the line, drops it back to Anderson as the penalty to Granato expired. Stolen in the corner by Messier. Messier looking to throw it out front. Can't do that. Gets it to Anderson. A return pass. Messier to Anderson. Quick shot, and Rooney got a piece of that one.
Well, in this series, the line of Messier, Anderson, and Simpson have scored but 1 goal. That one by Messier.
Granato's shot deflected up into the crowd with 12:10 remaining. Klima at center ice takes the pass. Gets it cross ice to Kevin Lowe. He dumps it into the corner. Klima racing in after it. He's bumped against the boards. Mark Lamb tried to come flying in there. He was checked. A rink-wide pass for Gretzky. Too far for him. Greg Muni got there first. Played it up along the boards for Klima. He couldn't get out. Now Muni dumps it ahead to Mark Lamb. He couldn't control it. Marty McSorley circles. Gives it to Gretzky. Gretzky over to Robitaille. Robitaille trying to move in. And he's checked by Kevin Lowe. Ahead to Craig McTavish. Tim Waters is after him. McTavish moves into the slot area. It's taken away from him by Dave Taylor. Taylor up along the boards. Alec couldn't get out. Now it does come out to center ice, and it's fired right back in by Bukaboom. Dave Brown in on McSorley quickly. You'll recall they had the bout with 15 seconds remaining in Game 4 in Edmonton. 2:34 left in this opening period. Dave Taylor takes a hit along the boards from Steve Smith. Murphy taken in against the boards by Alec. They both go down. Robitaille back to the line. McSorley winds up. His shot is deflected by McTavish. Waters, a centering attempt. It bounces in front of the net. Dave Taylor couldn't pick it up in his skates. Comes along the boards to Waters. Waters trying to keep it in, and finally it's moved out by Edmonton. Behind the play. Here's a pass now for Semenoff going in. He scores!
Semenoff came off the bench on the change and walked in all alone, and what a move he made when he got in there. Boy, this guy can make the puck talk, and Kelly Rudy didn't know where the puck went when he got in, but here's the long pass right there to Semenoff, who came off behind everybody. Now watch this move. To his backhand and then shoveled it straight up in the air, and Kelly Rudy had no chance whatsoever.
Well, Semenoff has feasted on the Los Angeles Kings this year. 6 regular season goals against Los Angeles. And Semenoff with his 3rd goal in this series. He also has 3 assists. He's the leading scorer for the Oilers. It's offside. So the Edmonton Oilers are first on the board. 9:48 remains in the opening period.
Their second best forward in this series proves that he's one of the best when he gets in alone on the goaltender. Got that puck almost straight up in the air after he broke in the clear on Kelly Rudy.
Murphy and Bukaboom draw the assists at 10:01 on Semenoff's 4th goal of the playoffs. His 3rd in this series against Los Angeles. Fired into the Los Angeles zone by Jelena. Rudy whips it around the boards. Charlie Huddy pinching in from the point, trying to keep it in the zone. It's knocked out by John Tonelli. Rink wide pass for Jay Miller. He knocks it back of the goal. Casper keeps it in. Tonelli battling behind the net. He's tied up. Charlie Huddy moves it up along the boards. Adam Graves. Rink wide pass. Kyber in across the line was trying to set up Jelena. It's picked off by Casper. Casper comes back, dodges the check by Messier, but lost control of the puck, and the Oilers take over. McIver. Messier, he dumps it to the corner with Benning going back after it for Los Angeles. Around the boards for Robitaille. He couldn't pick it up, but Blake does on the right side for Granato. It's broken up. Play at center ice, and now Messier goes after it. Messier looking for someone to catch up with the play. Plays it back to Tikkanen. His shot, it just goes wide. Off the boards and back to center ice. Penalty coming up. A delayed penalty call against the Los Angeles Kings.
Against Wayne Gretzky, who high-sticked Tikkanen as they collided going for the puck. I don't know whether Tikkanen's cut, but I know Gretzky's got a minimum of 2 minutes. Tikkanen got a little scratch there, or developed since he put his glove up. Tikkanen went over and pleaded with the referee Marawelli for 5 in a game, but lost his case. Esa Tikkanen, he's been the best player on either team. Leads his team in scoring while he's keeping the leader of the league in scoring quiet.
Grant Jones gets it again, trying to jam it past Fuhr as he broke in on the right side. Back comes Messier. Messier, rink-wide pass, dropped to Simpson. Simpson couldn't get a shot away, throws it back to the net for Anderson. Anderson leaves it there for Simpson. Simpson to the point. Tikkanen fakes the shot, tried to give it to Messier. It's behind him. Picked up along the boards. Robinson can't get out. It goes to the other side. Blake steps into Anderson. Back to the line to Tikkanen. Tikkanen gives it to Messier. Back to Tikkanen. At least he was attempting to get it to him, and McIntyre deflected it out of the zone. Messier comes back again. He's tied up behind the net. Out for Simpson, and that didn't get through. Anderson quickly flipped that puck out in front of the net for Simpson. Here's a race for a loose puck. Casper's got it. Casper going in. Scores!
Well, there's nothing like a shorthanded goal to lift your spirits, and that #1 power play unit for got out there and fumbled around for a while and finally gave Steve Casper this opportunity. He outraces Esa Tikkanen, which surprised me. Tikkanen gets a stick on it, on Casper, but Casper gets it up over the glove hand of Grant Fuhr right there. Fuhr was going down perhaps a little early. A nice play by Casper.
The first shorthanded goal of the playoffs for the Los Angeles Kings. Steve Casper getting it at 12:48. Donnelly draws an assist on the goal. The puck fired out to center ice. Still 43 seconds remaining in the penalty to Wayne Gretzky. Tim Waters hammers it around the boards, kept in at the line by Tikkanen. Klima lays it back to the other point. McIver moving in, back to Tikkanen. There's his shot, and Rudy's got that.
A real hard shot by Esa Tikkanen from the point, but no Oilers, Joe Murphy and Peter Klima, either didn't have time or the inclination to get in front of Rudy to help Tikkanen by screening it or looking for a rebound. But it was a hard shot, but watch this. Kelly Rudy sees it all. And Gretzky, who's going to give Casper a free round of golf with that nice golf club he belongs to, for getting him off the hook, or almost off the hook. 27 seconds left in Wayne Gretzky's penalty to score 1-1 with 6:42 to go here in a very conservative first period. The shots are only 6-4 for the Kings.
And Gretzky continues to wear that ear flap protecting his left ear. The 25-stitch cut he suffered in game number 3.
I am sure today, with 2 more days of healing, Don, that he's not taking any medication to numb the ear, and perhaps we'll see Gretzky have a little more alert game tonight than he did in Edmonton in Game 4 when he played under a fair amount of discomfort, I'm sure.
Well, he took a shot for the pain at 7:30 prior to Game 4, and then another between the second and third periods. Said it had a numbing effect. Here's Tikkanen's shot. It's blocked by Casper.
Would you say his ears are pierced now? That maybe Cherry could lend him that earring.
Don't think he looked quite as good as Don Cherry with an earring dangling from that lobe. Picked up along the boards by Donnelly. He has Sandstrom with him. Backhand shot. Kicked to the corner by Fuhr. Gretzky is out of the penalty box. Sandstrom gets it. He's checked. Puck goes loose behind the Edmonton goal. 1-1 the score. 6:06 remaining in the period. Dumped out with Marty McSorley back after it. McSorley, a long shot off the glass. Sandstrom trying to pick it up as he bumps along the boards. Ellick is out there as well. He couldn't do anything with it. And it's flipped out of the zone by Kevin Lowe. Larry Robinson starts back. He gets it over to Gretzky. Gretzky rink wide pass to Ellick. Back to Robinson. Backhand shot. That's steered to the corner. Graves trying to move out of the corner. Ellick quickly on him, but he flips the puck out of the zone. Dave Taylor dodges the check. Plays it in for Robitaille. A high shot off the glass. Low to the line, but not out. Duchesne with a shot right on the rebound. Poked away from Taylor by Craig Muni. At the line, Duchesne keeps it in. Across to Larry Robinson. Robinson dumps it back to the net. Alec is tied up there, and now the Oilers get possession. And Glenn Anderson brings it out of the zone.
I still think the Kings need people in front of the net earlier than they had him on that last shift with 2 good point shots.
Loose puck in front of the net. They score! Robitaille!
Robitaille gets his 9th goal of the playoffs right here. It's a shot there by Duchesne. Robitaille comes out of the corner and just sort of on his knees just shoveled it into the net. He fights off Smith there to center it. Now Duchesne tries one of those spin-arounds. He can't score. Robitaille, who had been knocked down, came out from behind the net and put it in.
That puck went between the feet of Steve Smith, and Robitaille, who had earlier been battling with Smith, came out of the corner where he'd been knocked down and beat Grant Fuhr for a 2-1 Los Angeles lead. Here's Tonelli, tied up at the line by Bookaboo. Messier picks up the loose puck. Casper's after him. Ahead to Simpson, to Murphy. Murphy's checked, but it was also offside.
Well, the LA Kings have succeeded, at least for a while here, in getting the momentum back and the fans back into the game at the Forum here in Inglewood, California.
At the arena in St. Louis, the North Stars disrupt the shutout bid of Vincent Riendeau with just over 5 minutes to play. Wilkinson and Broughton draw assists on the goal by Brian Propp, his 6th of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And with about 2 minutes to go in St. Louis, it's now 4-1.
And here at the Great Western Forum, Luc Robitaille's 9th of the playoffs from Duchesne and Alec at 15:08 as Los Angeles ahead of Edmonton 2-1. Bookaboo starts out slowly from his own zone for Steve Smith to McTavish. McTavish tried to get it back to Murphy. He was checked. It comes to Bookaboo. Long shot wide. Murphy leaves it there for McTavish. McTavish is checked, and Tim Waters starts away. Brown is after him. Brown falls as Waters throws it out of the zone. McTavish starts back for Edmonton. McTavish working in with Murphy is checked. John Tonelli picks it up for the Kings. 3:50 remaining in the first period. 2-1 Los Angeles. Here's Tonelli driving as he's checked in the corner by Kevin Lowe. Tonelli continues to work. Tried to center it. Knocked away by Charlie Huddy. He moves it up to Semenov. Semenov